whenever we link up. They think we come from outer space or something. Let's get this money.
It is the elitist of elite company.
This is absolutely amazing.
Wow, wow, wow!
Double up on the blow, 2 mil on that I-95. Bow your head cause it's time to pay tax.
Darts from a different planet.
You will not see better than this anywhere.
Come the truth. The devil is alive. Come the proof.
Take a bow, young man. Take a bow.
The cream of the darting establishment.
A new darting star is born.
Big Time Dart is back and back with a bang. Tonight we come live from the sportsman city of Newcastle and the Utility Arena. A very warm welcome to night one of the 2019 Unibet Premier League. It's the start of 17 nights of tungsten drama as we take on a journey from Newcastle to London via Berlin, Dublin, Rotterdam and many more of the biggest cities and venues around Britain and Europe. Top class tungsten tonight by The Times. 8,000 expected here tonight. They're passionate about life, passionate about sport here in the North East, and they know how to party. Fancy dress, fun, it's the darts, night one of the Premier League. 5 matches coming your way. Opening up the night, 2 former Premier League champions collide. Wade against Barney. There's Grand Slam champion Gerwyn against Daryl Gurney. Newcastle fan Chris Dobey faces Mensur Suljovic. Repeating the World Championship final, Van Gerwen against Michael Smith. And rounding off the night, Peter Snake by Wright against former world champion Rob Cross. Well, then, good evening Newcastle, great night ahead, the standout fixture. Michael Van Gerwen against Michael Smith, the repeat of the World Championship final. Will it be repeat or revenge for the Bully Boy? The boys are here, Mark Webster, Wayne Mardle, that's a cracking match.
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a rematch, is it, of the Premier League final as well as the World Championship final. But a big game for Michael Smith, I think. He lost those finals by quite a fair margin. He'll want to close that gap, and what better way to do it than on the first night of the Premier League tonight against the current world champion.
Big night for Chris Dobey tonight.
Yeah, you're not kidding. There's still thousands more to arrive, so the noise is just going to get louder and louder. Look, he's played in World Championships, he's played in some of the biggest events that we've got, but this is huge, this is massive for him. He's in Newcastle, he's going to get a majority of the support, something he's never really had before. He run Gary Anderson really close at the Worlds, and unfortunately Gary's not going to be here with a minute, but Chris can really kind of think to himself, I'm good enough to be up here, I can get at him, and who's to say next year he may be one of the invited ones.
It's fresh, it's exciting. Let's remind you what happened here last year.
The new look Premier League. 6 changes, 4 new faces.
They've both been there, seen it, done it. Oh, carry on, fellas!
Michael Van Gerwen tees up and 9-dart finish. It's on. Wild miss on treble 19. The big fish. This is madness.
What a match, what entertainment. Darts at its best. What a leg, what a leg.
One of the great Premier League wins by Super Chin to delight the home crowd here in Belfast.
The nightmare is over for Gerwyn Price. It's the end of the road for Mensur Suljovic.
Every single person here tonight is chanting Barney Army.
Sea of orange!
And Raymond van Barneveld wins in Rotterdam for a famous win. The Doyen of Dutch darts has done it again.
Michael Van Gerwen, take a bow!
Double 16, and the world number 1 is the first man through to the final.
And Michael Smith with the biggest win of his life. He can hardly believe it.
To be crowned Premier League champion for the 4th time. A Premier performance from the world #1, leaving everyone in no doubt that he is still the main man on planet darts.
Michael van Gerwen crowned champion, finishing top of the league as well. Michael Smith second, Gary Anderson third, with Rob Crossing fourth. Eliminated after 9 weeks, Mensur, Suljovic and Gerwyn Price. Only the 9th player will be relegated this year. Michael van Gerwen was unstoppable last year.
Yeah, he's got a very good record in the Premier League, and he always makes the final. And he'll want to keep breaking records this year, 9 darters. I think he'll aim to win every game, that's what he does. And he's the man to beat, he's in great form. And these guys have got to get closer. It's been a bit too easy for Michael in the last couple of tournaments. These guys have got to start putting him under pressure.
New look to this year's Premier League. 9 new faces hoping to make a big name for themselves. Tonight we feature Chris Dobey, a local hero from Northumberland. Week 2 BDO World Champion Glenn Durrant. Irishman Steve Lennon takes centre stage in Dublin. Cool hand Luke Humphreys in Exeter. There's a big night for Big John Henderson in Aberdeen. Nathan Aspinall takes centre stage in Nottingham. Huge night for Max Hopp, who faces Barney in Berlin. There's Dimitri van den Berg dancing in Rotterdam. On week 9, Jeffrey de Zwaan, the Cobra from the Netherlands, on home turf. Wayne, it's fresh, it's new. Will it work this year?
No, I think it's time. Well, first off, it's unfortunate for Gary Anderson. But we've got to say his back has been a real issue for probably the last 18 months, but couldn't compete in the Masters, can't compete in this Premier League. So 9 new faces that are full contenders are going to get their chance week in, week out. There's going to be a new one. There's going to be some local heroes like Chris Dobey, like John Henderson. Max Hopp in Berlin's going to be incredible, and Jeffrey de Zwaan especially as well. The contenders, they're up here to see what the next generation and some of the elder statesmen, as in Glenn Durrant, can do, because he's been invited as well. It's just giving other people a chance. A lot of people have said that this has become stale over the years. I'm not sure I agree, but new faces and influx, that's not going to dampen anyone's kind of spirits, and it's going to be good for those in the practice room week after week, year after year. Michael van Gerwen has dominated the last 6 years. It's going to have a new look feel to the practice room as well. All change.
And every time you mention the name of Chris Dobey, gets a great reaction.
Yeah, touching on what Wayne said, it's a massive opportunity for all the 9 contenders, in particular Chris. Chris made a good account of himself at the World Championship, was unlucky not to take Gary Anderson out. And this is the next stage now. He needs to find out what he's like up here. It's a great opportunity. And who knows, he might be invited back as one of the main players next year.
Just mention one fixture to look forward to. Max Hopp against Barney in Berlin.
Yeah, honestly, well, look, it's only 1 game for Max Hopp, I understand that. But what a huge game, what an opportunity. There'd be 12,000 there chanting his name against the most successful kind of non-English player that has ever lived in Germany, and Germany is the place right now. That could be absolutely huge, but it could be big for Barney as well, because this is a huge year for Barney. We know that. We know he's retiring, but also he's got to lay down a marker tonight. He's got to get it going. We don't want to see him capitulate and give up, because this is a man that's reached the playoffs 8 times. Max Hopp could actually put a pay to that.
Barney opens the show tonight against James Wade. How's that going to go?
Yeah, it's a big game for both players who've got something to prove. Raymond on his final year, he wants to go out with a flourish. James was left out last year, but he came back winning competition, so he's put himself in there. But they'll both want to set down a marker, like we said, for different reasons, and it's going to be close. Will Gerwyn Price be on his best behaviour tonight?
Well, I actually had a chat with him at the back. I really want him to be himself. If he can be himself and relax and play and do what he wants to do, within reason, he has a chance. But I kind of like Daryl Gurney at 11 to 10.
Chris Dobey, a big prize, 3 to 1.
Yeah. It's a tough game for him tonight. I know Mensur got eliminated last year, but Mensur had a running average of just under the 100 mark. It's a big test for Chris tonight. Mensur won't be bothered about the crowd. It's going to be a good game.
Van Gerwen against Smith.
If Michael Smith can improve on 2018, he's going to win something huge in 2019. Michael Van Gerwen is the man that everyone has to stop. I don't think he stops him tonight.
Rounding off the night, Peter Wright against Rob Cross. Both a bit out of sorts right now.
Yeah, not playing to their full potential. Big years for their careers. They've got a lot of money to defend, so maintaining that ranking is difficult. So the Premier League, whilst not on the ranking, is important to get them into a bit of form, and they need to get a good result, both of them tonight, just to get the round running.
This is how the bookies think the league stage will finish. Your thoughts on this, Wayne?
Yeah, this is according to the outright bets that have been placed by the punters. So this is what the punters feel. And I'm not saying I speak for the punters, but last week I was asked to predict my top 4, and it was Michael Van Gerwen, Smith, Barney and Mensur. The others are not going to like it, but I couldn't care less. I like it. I think it's a fair reflection of the odds.
No. What do you think?
I actually fancy Daryl Gurney to make the top 4. I think he was a bit unlucky at times last year. Games that he was in control of, he sort of let slip into draws and defeats. So he's got that year's experience, so he's got to use that now and fulfil his potential in this competition. He didn't do it last year, but he's got that experience. I fancy Daryl to make the top 4.
Great atmosphere already building here in Newcastle. They love the sport here. Should be a great night of darts.
Yeah, they love world-class sport, and they're going to get it tonight. And it's not that I want Mensur Suljovic to lose, but I want Chris Dobey to come up here and relish it. Don't be frightened of walking up here and everyone being on your side and feel that pressure. Just think, what an opportunity, and it really is.
Chris Dobey had 15 1/8s against Gary Anderson at the Worlds.
Yeah, he raised the level of his performance, didn't he, at the World Championship? He's got to take that next step now because Chris hasn't qualified for events at the World Match Play in the World Grand Prix, so that indicates a bit of inconsistencies during the year. But what an opportunity tonight to have a taste of the Premier League stage and help him gain experience for the rest of the year.
Time for the talking to stop. Newcastle, are you ready for darts? Let's play.
Welcome to the Premier League.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this Premier League.
It is the elitist of elite company. Boom, 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 boom!
This is like darts, but better.
A new darting star is born.
Perfect, absolutely perfect.
Darts from a different planet. Oh, this is gourmet darts! A premier performance from the world #1.
To the utility arena here in the magnificent city of Newcastle. The Professional Dance Corporation proudly present week #1 of the Unibet Premier League, live on Sky Sports as we welcome the millions of viewers joining us around the world. The clash of two former Premier League champions. Time to meet the players. From Den Haag in the Netherlands, he is a former Premier League champion and a 5-time champion at the world, Raymond and Barneveld.
Rising up, back on the street.
major televised titles, and the former Premier League champion that's known as the Machine, James Gerwyn!
When Mark getting a bit of a rough reception there, does that date back to the World Championship, the match against the Sada?
It does, yeah, it really does. Darts fans don't forget, and just the way he acted there, it was kind of a bit off, but and he got booed for it. But this game and this kind of Premier League, it's going to revolve a lot around Raymond van Barneveld, because this is kind of his showpiece. He's leaving the sport at the end of the World Championship 2020. So he's basically showcasing himself for the last time in most of these venues. And I've got to say, Barney, for me, at 7-4, I think is a decent bet. James Wade has been playing better of late, but if Barney turns it on, he's always a tough nut to crack.
Could Barney win this Premier League?
I think he can, yeah. The odds kind of reflect it. He's not that likely, but of course he can. And I think that the league format favours him, because you've just got to be consistently good. You haven't got to be brilliant all the time. He's looking to make the playoffs for the 9th time. If he can get a good start, then who knows?
Cheers, Ray. Mark Webster, Rod Studio commentary team. Evening, boys.
Evening, Dave. Welcome to the 2019 Premier League, the new look Premier League with the new contenders. And we kick off with a maximum from James Wade. Will we end with the same result, with a 4th consecutive Premier League crown from Michael van Gerwen at the O2 in May? This is Raymond van Barneveld's swan song season, his 14th season in the Premier League, winner on that glorious night in May 2014 when he beat Taylor and van Gerwen in consecutive matches.
60.
This is the long goodbye for Barney, and Wade returning for a 10th Premier League, having missed last year. Winner himself in 2009.
140.
Premier League participant, Mark Webster. Remember your debut in 2011, Mark? It was 2011 season, wasn't it?
I'm still trying to forget it,
Are
really,
you?
but yeah, it was a tough year. Touching on what you said about James, obviously left out last year. He was left out in 2014 as well, but returned the year after. So when he does have these disappointments, he knuckles down, puts himself back in the window to get back in. He's done that with 2 tournament wins.
This is a reasonable leg of darts, isn't it? Wade misses the big 12, which would have left the bull for a 12-darter, and Barney now with a chance to break in 11.
41. Raymond, you require 56.
First leg on Raymond, considering James went off with the maximum as well. 2 darts for the opening leg against the throw. 2 his favourite, double 18.
38.
Side.
Teams you require 40.
Well, unlikely to be a reprieve from the machine, and there is no reprieve. 13 darts. Wade takes the opening leg.
73 minutes
After Barneveld missed 1 at double 18 and 1 at double 9. Now, although you finished 9th in an 8-man field, Mark, in the Premier League
41.
2011, you did have that glorious 110 average in Exeter, didn't you?
Yeah, I started reasonably okay. I picked up a win on the first week and the 4th week, and then
96.
just went a bit downhill.
Well, you also won in the first week on your debut, beat Wade 8-3 at the O2. So you've done something that none of these players have managed to do. Barneveld, Van Gerwen, Taylor, you name it. None of them have got a 100% record at the O2 Arena, Mark, like you have.
Oh, cheers for that. Well, that's something to clutch to, I suppose. If it was like the format now of the 9 weeks, I'd have escaped, and 4 points of the 9 weeks ain't too bad, is it? But unfortunately not. I had to take my punishment for a further 7 weeks.
Barney handing out the punishment now with a second maximum in the match. We've seen 4 maximums in a leg and a half.
Start by both players looking really comfortable.
100.
So they should as well, plenty of experience in this Premier League. Raymond on his 14th appearance now in the Premier League, and the last one we touched on. So they want to go out with a bang.
He'll actually overtake Phil Taylor for matches played in the Premier League when we reach Rotterdam at the back end of the first phase of the competition. So we'll set a new record there. Lovely dart, treble 19 would have left double 10.
97, teams require 164.
Good start by both players. Particularly Raymond as well. Touch on when legs slip away from me, sometimes lets him get it down, shaking the head. He's forgot about that first leg, left himself a double after 12 darts thrown, 15 darts thrown, so opportunity now, just to hold the throw, get a leg on the board.
Very important moments here, very important dart here. And Barney, last dart in hand, levels the match at one apiece. And you could say with most players, Mark, that, all right, it's week one here, there's at least 9 weeks, nothing to panic if things go wrong, not necessarily crucial to win, but you feel with Barney it's a different story, don't you? He's come here under pressure, people questioning whether he should be picked. It was an ordinary 2018, saved the World Cup win with Michael van Gerwen riding shotgun for him. He's under pressure to get a result early doors here, Barneveld, isn't he?
Definitely, in particular Raymond, because he's not in great form, is he? So you want to come here and put wins on, and just a lot of critics, like you said, weren't too pleased that he got the selection, but he needs to put that to bed now, concentrate, because he's got his opening fixtures. He'll be fancying to get 2-3 wins out of them, and then he can build to push towards the playoffs.
Yes, fair point. I mean, there are no easy games in the Premier League, but some fixtures are still easier than others, and you'd rather start with Wade, Price and Suljovic than, say, Van Gerwen, Smith, Cross, for example. So, although you've got to play everybody once somewhere, but you might want to just get those feeling of getting a little bit of positivity if you can get results.
Yeah, results on the board as well give you that margin for error if you need it, because there will be off weeks for all players. Even Michael van Gerwen may have an off week, but not many of him, but it just gives you that little bit of room for error, and eliminate the fact going into playoff night in Rotterdam that you can go get eliminated from the competition. You want to be looking towards the playoffs and not the trap door on that week 9.
Barney hoping for a poke at 52, but it's tops for Wade. It's double 10 for Wade. Wires it, now Barney gets another chance. He's going to get another 2 darts to break the Wade throw. He missed 2 in leg 1.
Opportunity again. 16. It's a tiny bit awkward. Missed it again, and again an opportunity to break James. He could be 3 legs to nil up now, but I don't fancy him getting another shot.
Game shot of the third leg.
He knew what was coming.
Fourth leg is Raymond through first.
Well, Barney has missed a brace of darts at double in legs 1 and 3 to break the Wade throw. And Wade, the ace, you miss, I hit dartist, has done just that.
Can't afford James' chances. And Raymond's done that, and this will be a test of Raymond now. We said about he's not in great form. Confidence affects us all, and he's got to forget about the fact that he could be 3-0 up and just concentrate on holding his throw here. We don't want to see that head shaking from Raymond.
140.
I'll have to ask the top darting statisticians to give us some data on Wade's finishing when his opponent has already missed a dart for the leg or for the set or for the match, but there's always that air around him that when his opponent misses, he hits more often than not, as we've just seen evidence of in the last couple of legs, as we saw when he won the 2 tournaments last year, Mark, in the European Championship and the World Series of Darts finals.
Escapes and match darts in the quarterfinals and the semi-finals, and that's what James does. Took control of the final, then he didn't afford any chances to Simon Whitlock. And he survived some match darts the weekend after in the World Series of Darts finals against Michael Smith, but he missed some before, so in fact it probably levelled itself out. But like you said, he doesn't let himself get embroiled in a leg where there's 3, 6, 9 darts being missed at double. Once they give him the chance, he generally takes it, and that's how he's made his career.
And here with a 4th 140 of the match, right on cue to leave tops for a break opportunity of his own.
Pressure, Raymond. Double 12. Great finish from Raymond van Barneveld, and the pressure there. Level game.
Yeah, crucial finish, because you'd have fancied Wade with 3 in hand at double top to have gone 3-1 up, but Barney had other ideas, and the double 12 was the best of them.
It's a big sucker punch as well when you've been forcing all the issues. You know, Raymond's been putting James under pressure, and suddenly you have your throw broken. It was a big finish early in the game, but just to keep Raymond on throw.
Another maxi from James Wade, his 3rd of the match. That World Series of Darts finals that Mark was just alluding to. Wade whipped Barney in that.
I think Raymond beat Michael van Gerwen in the quarterfinals.
That's right, it was the semi, wasn't it? 11-2, I think it was.
Absolutely steamrolled him, didn't he? And then just went on to win the final. 2 tournament wins in a week for James. Ultimately, that's why he regained his place in the Premier League.
59.
And a runner-up in the Masters in the first tournament of 2019 also. The hands of Van Gerwen. He has this leg under complete control.
59.
It's the first time neither player's been under pressure in the leg. James comfortably.
100. James
6 starts if he needs him at the 78.
Double 10 off the accidental tops. Not that he should be too concerned, it's his favourite double anyway. But now he might be a little bit concerned. That leaves double 5, and if Barney could pile in a biggie like a ton 40, might just get a little bit squeaky for the machine.
Definitely be a slightly concerned, but a little slip from Raymond there. Always awkward double 5. James first start. Tap the double. 5 legs, 5 holds a throw.
Yeah, Barney having missed 4 darts to break, and Wade in the 4th leg was waiting on tops to break Barney's throw when the great Dutchman went out with a 104 checker. First 2 7 legs wins, but the match can still end in a 6-all tie. They have had 4 draws in the Premier League between them, these 2 players. It's Barney's 3rd max.
Good response from Raymond there for 140 start from James.
60.
Starting to get behind Raymond now.
100. Revenue required 161.
I touched on it being a big year for Raymond this year. We know if he wants to play in the other competitions, he's got to start playing the ranking event, so he'll have to.
47.
He won't have the freedom of his schedule in last few Premier League campaigns where he doesn't attend the European tours or ranking events. If he wants to appear in the World Match Play in the Grand Prix, he's going to have to start chasing the points.
100.
Yeah, he's going to have to get points to qualify for next year's World Championship. And here, after that loose visit there, when he missed the outer bull, he's now going to fail to get a dart and a double here. And he's under pressure here from Wade. This is exactly Wade's kind of finish. It's right in his wheelhouse. Can't find a trouble with either of his first 2 darts. Reprieve for Barneveld.
Revenue required 56.
So Raymond on this finish in the opening leg of the match. And he didn't close it out. He's going the same way. 20 for double 18. It's a better dart than double 18. He comes back at James again.
3 legs apiece, 3 maximums apiece. Great start to the 2019 Premier League.
97.
Entertaining tussle between 2 of the veterans of this format. 24 Premier League campaigns between them.
91.
Between them, they've played 344 Premier League games, plus this one tonight.
100.
Incredible. play to both of them. In particular James as well, he's had those setbacks of being left out. He's knuckled down and got himself back involved the year after.
Been out twice, hasn't he? Left out twice, yeah.
Yeah. But like we said, he's gone on, performed, won tournaments to get himself back in the picture. So he doesn't take the knockback lying down, he just knuckles down.
86.
Both got one tournament win each as well. James winning back in 09 and Raymond the 2014 Premier League champion.
Well, that was one of his finest hours. Or 2 hours.
140.
Coming in close proximity to that great Grand Slam win over Van Gerwen, and of course 7 years after the epic win at the Circus Tavern over Phil Taylor. Now a chance here, Mark, for Van Barneveld to get another break opportunity, at least darts at double to do so. That's 110 of them, 75 left. Treble 17 would leave double 12.
127.
It's a 2 dart, it's pressure on James now, so he'll be looking at 4 19s. It's awkward. It's not going to be, so opportunity for Raymond again. It'll be the 3rd chance of a break of the James Wade throw.
Revenue car 58.
You can't keep knocking it close to the hole and missing putts, Barney. Tops. And he sinks that one. So Raymond Van Barneveld has had 3 opportunities in 3 legs to break, and he takes the 3rd one. It's 3rd time lucky for RBB, and now he's the boss of the hockey. Just needs to hold 3 times. Easy that, Mark, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Doddle.
140.
This is the important leg when you've just broken. As they say, if you don't hold the next leg, the breaker throw is in effect.
But kudos to Barney, Mark, because he could easily have become downhearted or frustrated at missing the 2 opportunities that he'd crafted for himself in legs 1 and 3, and he's kept plugging away, earns another opportunity and taken it.
59.
Definitely. I go back to that game in the Grand Prix with Dave Chisnell. I remember him speaking after. He made a mess of the first leg, and he openly admitted, I couldn't get that out of my head, and went on to lose the game 3-0. So he's done well not to let that affect him here tonight. He's under pressure as well. We know people. It was a mixed reaction to him getting a place in the Premier League. So he's got to go up there and prove a point, and he's playing really well so far.
44.
Well, 2018 was a troubled year for Raymond Van Barneveld in all sorts of ways, and one wonders if he sat down at the back end of it and thought, right, one last year now, one big push, let's go out on a high, let's go out as he should be remembered as one of the greatest players ever to play this sport, and someone has entertained us for more than 2 decades in the most scintillating fashion, and it would be more than a shame if he didn't go out in the right manner, wouldn't it?
Without doubt. I'd like to see him play everything this year. Just go for it. It's 1 more year, Ray. 1 more year. Dedicate yourself to the tour, play everything, and his class will show. Yeah, he'll have some bad weekends on the Pro Tour, but his class, there'll be finals, there'll be wins on the European Tour, I have no doubt, and it gives him that final hurrah he wants, playing in all the major events.
Brilliant darts from Van Barneveld. He shows the emotion, a rare display of emotion, because he sets up Tops here to go 2 legs clear, and Wade can do nothing about it but watch.
93. Revenue required 40.
Hold a throw and a down to double 10. Big dart. Goes inside. Straight in for Raymond Van Barneveld. The 174 to lay up the shot. You know what's coming.
The lead is going and gone. Well, Barney knows full well that it should be well clear. He could actually have won the match by now, but that was maybe pushing the point a little far, but he certainly should be 2 legs clear.
100.
Definitely. He should be in a position now with his 5 here, having an opportunity to attack the James Wade throw with a bit of freedom, knowing that he's got that breaker throw, but surrendering it back there. He's played well, just been a little bit careless on some finishes, and there it's illustrated. 31% on the doubles, 4 from 13, and that's what's cost him.
Well, James Wade has won 4 legs in this darts match, and in 3 of them Raymond Van Barneveld was first to the double, and in those 3 legs combined he's missed 7 darts at double, and therein lies the difference.
100.
That's how Wade has got level. He's been good enough and close enough in those legs to take full advantage when Barneveld has missed.
Yeah, Definitely testament to James that he's not so much, he's not forced to miss, but he's been there or thereabouts when Raymond has missed to tidy out. You just wonder how this will affect Raymond in these remaining 4 legs.
James Wade just ploughs on.
100.
A lot of similarities in the statistics, apart from the doubling stats that Mark was mentioning earlier, where Barneveld is lagging behind. Wade can't finish, so Barney's going to get another chance to break, and you'd fancy him to get a dart at double here off 101, just to find 1 dart at treble with his first 2.
We've seen 104 finish from Raymond. So, very attemptless this time.
69, James Junior 60.
Tops for James.
Double 10, again a big dart. And again a big finish from Wade, not numerically, but in terms of the context of the match. That's a big moment. Wade goes back in front once more. Barney led briefly at 4-3. Wade now 5-4 up.
85.
Raymond now needs the remaining 3 legs, wants to win this game. Still the opportunity of the draws we touched on. He's just got to stay focused, stay confident there, not think about what's happened. Focus on minimum holding his throw twice and getting out of here with a draw. But he will be kicking himself in a minute. A lot of chances missed.
100.
The chances missed and then punished by Wade. He didn't get another go in those legs.
140.
And Wade has just carried on unfazed, hasn't he? Whatever Barney has been doing, Wade has been completely uninterested in that. He's just
100.
towed the hockey, banged 3 in, collected his darts and got back and then got ready for another 3. And he's just really is, it is machine-like, isn't it?
It's a very controlled performance. He's not shown much emotion, just in control of his emotions up there tonight, just there to do a job. Opening night back in the Premier League, point to prove, and he's doing it.
Yes, because in many ways the focus has been on Barneveld, but of course Wade returning to the Premier League is trying to prove a point as well. Doesn't need to go 14 bull. Goes treble 8 tops. This would be for a 2-leg lead and a certain point, and he will have 3 more darts starting at double 10, so you'd make him a banker from there.
174.
Well, you can hardly call it too little, but it looks like it's too late from Van Barneveld, and it is.
2-1-7-4 to set up a shot in the game for Raymond Van Barneveld, and he didn't win either of them. James Wade guaranteed of a point now, but he'll want the lot. And darts to do it here.
100.
Well, it will be a tale, if Wade holds, of missed opportunities for Raymond Van Barneveld, but of ace opportunity taking
100.
and clinical finishing when the chance was given to him by James Wade.
97.
Those finishing stats have helped James. On the average, he's just over 97, but he's maintained that throughout the match.
100.
Yeah, Wade's scoring has been perfectly adequate and his finishing has been top class. When the opportunity's been given, he has taken it, and now he bangs in a 4th maximum to put himself on the brink of victory.
Back comes Raymond with a maximum. You'd still fancy James to take out this leg. 14 for the bullseye. Bullseye for the win. And he gets it. There's win on the board for James Wade tonight, and see what it means for him there. Missed opportunities for Raymond Van Barneveld, but ultimately James, better finisher on the night, and a 7-4 victory.
Decent match to open up the 2019 Premier League. James Wade against Barney. 8 180s in all. 99.24 3-dot average from Wade. A 1-2-4 on the ball to wrap up victory. Wade celebrates. 7-4 victory for James Wade against Raymond van Barneveld. Up next, Gerwyn Price against Daryl Gurney. Chris Dobey, Mensur Suljovic. Van Gerwen against Michael Smith. Repeats the World Championship final. And Peter Wright against Rob Cross to round up the night. Decent match to open up the 2019 Premier League.
James started with a 180, that was the opening gambit, ended it with a 1-2-4. There was moments in between where Barney did get on top, but he let his man off. And James is very, very good at taking his opportunities. He's kind of done that for a living, literally. And the chances he had in that game, he didn't fail to take, and Barney did. He should have gone 5-3 up, Barney. When he didn't, that was I'm not saying he gave up and it was game over, but James, you could see, he had that impetus and he had that belief. Barney just kind of tried too hard after that. There was some real wayward darts, then come back with a big one to put himself in contention in the leg, but by then James had wrapped it up. It was a good performance from James Wade.
Barney be kicking himself. He should have done better than that.
Yeah, like I said, that 8th leg, when he should have gone 5-3 up, and it went 4-all. He got in front with some brilliant scoring, but couldn't pin tops. Missed 2 darts at tops and 1 at double 10. James come back to hit 50. They both seemed to change then, because James, he was averaging 104, 105 at one point. Went down to 99, but he didn't really drop off. And I think Rod Studd, it was in comms, that he just mentioned about it was machine-like from James, and it was relentless. And if he carries on like that, then he's going to acquit himself very, very well.
Next up, Gerwyn Price against Daryl Gurney. How's this one going to go?
Well, if you take last year, it was both their debuts last year. Daryl Gurney had 8 draws. Now, that was the most of anyone. And he found winning hard, but he still acquitted himself very, very well. Gerwyn Price did not settle. He got off to a bad start last year. He's a better player now than he's ever been. But he's got this kind of thing hanging over his head where he's basically not allowed to celebrate the way he wants to. I'm not going to tell him to not play within the rules, but he's got to play the way he wants to play. The PDC, Sky Sports and the DRA, Darts Regulation Authority, and everyone at home, they can't just want to see someone walk up here like a robot and walk off. The sport is entertainment. Yes, it's about winning and losing, but it's also about entertainment. He's an entertainer, and he wins with it as well. I want to see him come up here and play his own game, and if he does, then I think it'll be a good contest.
Cheers, Wayne. Gurney against Price, come in next.
The price is right!
Gerwyn Price now flexing his muscles literally and metaphorically.
Darting entertainment at its finest.
Gerwyn Price, the first Welsh winner of a PDC major.
When you're not walking and talking as a man.
Wright.
Huge start for a big-time player. This is sheer quality.
Simply sensational.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the magnificent city of Newcastle and the Unibet Premier League, where it's time now to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen from South Wales, the Grand Slam champion that is, the Iceman, Gerwyn.
Rock a mic like a vandal, light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance, crush a speaker that booms. I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly, when I'm playing dope melody. Anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it, you better get away. You better hit bulls out, a kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the book while I DJ Boss.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Northern Ireland, the former World Grand Prix champion and the winner of the Players' Championship Finals, Super G Daryl.
Newcastle in great voice. Mark Webster, the walk-ons couldn't have been more contrasting there, could they?
Yeah, just a bit different, weren't they? Gezi knows this is coming now. It's happened to him 3 or 4 occasions since. He knows it's going to happen every week, so he's just got to get used to it. He's got to concentrate on playing his darts. It's a tough game for him tonight. He's not got fond memories of the Premier League from last year. He's not been in great form since he won the Grand Slam, so he needs to step it up here tonight.
It's going to be tough for him, isn't it, this year?
It is, yeah, but I think he'll be able to deal with it. There's going to be bumps on the way, but he's just got to get back to winning ways. Just to block out that crowd. It's going to be easier said than done, but he just needs to get back to winning. He hasn't won since the Grand Slam, as I touched on. He's got to start producing.
He got a massive fine, £21,000 for his behaviour at the Grand Slam. It was a stiff penalty.
Yeah, it was a bit excessive, really. I understand what they were trying to set a precedent with it, because the argument is he won the tournament because of his antics, but you know, it was just one of them. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Gezi going on in the Premier League and in the rest of the tournaments, how he's going to conduct himself, because I think he needs that aggression in his game.
Cheers, Mark. Wayne Martin, Stuart, part of your commentary team.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. 15th year of the Premier League, and Gerwyn Price still looking for his first ever win in the Premier League after a disappointing year last year. As Wayne mentioned, Daryl Gurney got better and better, finished 5th in the Premier League last year, but the crowd reaction yet again telling its own story. Over 7,000 here in Newcastle, and I just think, you know, that big fine, the suspended ban as well, has got Price maybe caught between 2 stools. He doesn't really know what to do, whether to play his own game, to be the natural Gerwyn Price, or to temper it in.
Well, he's got to temper it in a bit, but not completely. what Gerwyn Price was doing in the Grand Slam and in other events, in all the other events that he's played in, was giving it some. That's the way he plays, and as Mark Webster just said, he needs that aggression in his game. Just like Michael van Gerwen needs that little bit of kind of showing off in him. Just like Phil Taylor kind of needs to kind of focus, and everyone needs their own little thing. What Gerwyn Price can't do is what he did at the Masters, and that was completely go in his shell.
Shut down.
He will feel like he's fighting everything, every emotion. He will just feel like he's fighting it, and that's no good. He's got to be himself. We don't want robot after robot after robot turning up on that stage. Don't want to watch it. It's a game of winning, losing, and entertainment.
And emotion.
59.
Daryl Gurney last year
100. Going Uruguay,
come
160.
fifth eventually, but he found winning difficult. Drawing was fine.
121.
Gerwyn Price could not win a game and did not win a game. Now double four.
That's emphatic. Break of throw early doors for Daryl Gurney. I also, you know, think that, just going back to Gerwyn Price, that because of what's happened, that there's too many things going around in his mind, and because of that, he's actually unable to focus 100% on what he's up there to do, to play darts and win.
Well, of course, he feels like he's been told to not be himself. Gerwyn, go up there, do your best, mate, but don't act how you want to act. Or even within reason, because he feels like that he's just been told to stop completely. Just want to see him give it some. He'll feel better.
140.
Winning the Grand Slam made him feel better. Daryl Gurney was having a bit of a dodgy 2018 until he won the Players' Championship, beat Michael van Gerwen in the final. Michael van Gerwen, he's hardly been beat since.
No. Big match of the night against Michael Smith coming up. And there we go, there we go. That spark him into him. A nod of approval from Mr. Mardle.
Yeah, go on, pal. Oh, go on, Daryl. Oh, this should shut him up.
96.
What do you reckon Daryl would have done? What do you reckon?
We might have seen a bit of a celebration, methinks. Double 12 for Gerwyn Price.
36.
75. Thank you. Daryl Uruguay, 25.
180, given him the opportunity. Then he fluffed his lines. Will he pay the price?
No pun intended, Stu. You didn't even know you did it, did you?
You got there in the end.
2-0. Seen two darts at a double. He's picked up the pace, you can see that.
140.
Well, they played here in Newcastle last year. Gurney and Price, 6 apiece it was.
Yeah.
As you say, Price bottom of the Premier League.
40.
2 draws, 7 defeats. The numbers are stacking up. They did Barneveld against Wade.
Well, Gerwyn Price is playing better this Premier League than he did the whole of last year's Premier League. He keeps hitting 180s. They won't keep booing, trust me. It was only a couple of years ago that Daryl Gurney was getting booed every time he stepped foot near a stage. That's what we want to see. We want to see people enjoy it up there. They start producing then.
95.
It will always be the case that the crowd have their favourites and they have their villains, of course, in any sport.
140. Going Uruguay, 86.
54. That's interesting. 20 for tops. He's got plenty of time.
46.
The fact that he didn't even consider the 45. He's going to be under some pressure here.
130.
Important moments for Gerwyn Price. Bearing in mind, he played 9 matches last year and didn't win one. So he needs to get off to a decent start. If he'd have gone 3-0 down, that would have been a disaster.
Well,
we've seen 2 180s from Price, 2 big celebrations. Not wrong with that.
I'm just so glad he's come out of his shell. I really am. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't tell me there is. Glorious. It's a trio of maxes for Price.
100.
It's a real long stint for the players this Premier League. Michael van Gerwen has topped the league phase just the last 6 years. The relentless beast he is. Almost certainly the man to beat. You just feel if
100.
Michael is going to foul, it's going to be in the finals night to keep him out of the playoff spots. Looks highly unlikely.
96.
Well, no one came close to Van Gerwen at the Masters at the weekend.
Well, no one really come close in the Worlds, did they?
I'm just about to say exactly the same thing. There was only ever, you feel, going to be one winner. Oh, look at this. We'll get a celebration if this goes in.
130. Daryl require 116.
Big moments. That's a brilliant dart. Tops. Oh!
76.
What a great second dart that was.
10.
Well, averaging 110, the Welshman. Level at 2-all. The Welshman. Deservedly so.
But the shackles are off, aren't they? He's decided that enough's enough. And have you noticed there was no boo then when he hit the double, because it's kind of, that's it. They're over it. They're bored with it now.
It's now a grudging admiration. He might go to cheers a bit later on.
Oh, come on, don't be silly now. Daryl averaging 101.
100.
Going Price just 109.
3 maximums for Price. Gurney yet to hit one. Yeah, last year the Irishman in the group stages hit more 180s than anyone else.
Yeah.
67 it was.
He was relentless, wasn't he? We've already seen a cracking first match. James Wade beating Barney 7-4.
Barney should have been 4-0 up maybe.
Could have.
Should have.
James.
But some maybes.
We know what James does, don't we? Yeah. The opportunist he is. Because of brilliant darts, that's why. And because of brilliant darts, Gerwyn Price has got himself back 96. In this match. He was 2-0 down. It's now 2-all. And he's in control of this leg.
Don't forget, coming up next, the first of our
82.
2019 local heroes, Chris Dobey, who will raise the roof here. 7,000 plus inside the arena in Newcastle.
97.
What an opportunity for young Dobey and all the other players over the next 9 weeks.
59. Gerwen, you require 80.
This for 3 legs on the spin.
Yes. Got to move over. And if it's a 20, he may have to move over again. There you go. He's going to float it. Oh, magnificent.
Stick leg is Daryl to throw first.
We'll just kind of stop going on about the celebrations just for a second. Gerwyn Price is a brilliant dart player. That's why he won the Grand Slam. He was doing the right things, as Michael van Gerwen would say, do the right things at the right time. The clutch double hitting in the final against Gary Anderson. The 180s at the right time.
Don't forget also that Gary threw to go 12-8 up. That could have been match darts, but Price fought his way back. 4 180s, 110 average. Gerwyn Price.
97.
This is just what he needed.
It is. I've said it before about making a decent start in the Premier League. I've had the pleasure of participating in it 4 times, and it's not just it's not just everyone saying it because they're saying it. You really feel like that if you get off to a bad start, you're just swimming against the tide week in, week out. And the thing is, Stuart, is that there's no easy game. Whoever you're losing to, it's like, right, when am I going to get a break and play someone that's poor? Well, you're not going to.
Double 12 for an 11 darter. We thought that was in.
78. Daryl 103.
That's twice he's missed that combination, the 12s and 6s, 1 off 81 and then that.
Well, this could be a real steal.
87.
What a chance here for Gerwyn Price. Daryl Gurney, you know, has only ever beaten Gerwyn Price once.
Yes, correct.
And that was on the Pro Tour. At the moment, he is in great danger of losing another one to Price, as the Welshman here closing in on what would be his first ever Premier League win.
But what a time to do it as well if he does go on and achieve it tonight. Yeah, these two have played each other 8 times. It's 9 times, sorry. It's 7-1 and a draw to Gerwyn Price. He has the better of his higher ranked opponent.
100.
So that draw was here last year.
93.
Is he in? Well, he's kind of been unlucky not to hit a max so far. He's had some brilliant first starts. Just a few opportunities for the biggest of all.
This is, for me, this is the best that Gerwyn Price has played since the Grand Slam. It is, without a shadow of a doubt.
Since the shackles have come off. He's relieved himself mentally of the thoughts of trying to play within himself. $20 for tops.
Yeah, perhaps also celebrating at the right times as well. I think what possibly didn't work in his favour is that he was celebrating getting 100, or, you know, if he celebrates at the right times, he becomes the Gerwyn Price that has taken the darts world by storm over the last 3 or 4 years. This is for 5 straight legs. Wow, Daryl Gurney is being blitzed. This is top touchdown in the tune from the Welshman.
Daryl Gurney averaging a ton.
134.
99.92, and he's being outplayed. Comprehensively outplayed.
97. $96.
Daryl last year only lost 4 matches. Michael van Gerwen lost 4 matches.
120.
Just to put into context how hard he was to beat. Just too many draws, that's why he never made the playoffs.
Bounce out, nothing really lost there for Gerwyn Price. Bounce out the treble 1.
126.
I like that. 25 would have left the big fish. He was so good at the bullseye.
145.
This is to stop the rot. 51.
87.
Decent setup, in control of this leg. We haven't said that often.
Price has had twice as many darts at doubles than Daryl Gurney.
137.
Just putting him under the cosh constantly, isn't he?
Yeah. Pressure darts. Good dart, right in the middle. But he's still very much chasing here. Gerwyn Price throwing for at least a point.
Yeah, this is a big leg, though. This is a real big leg. As Price kicks off with his 6 maximum. Now, they're both playing in their second Premier League, but Gerwyn Price has never ever won a match. And if he can hold here and then win another leg, so there's pressure on him, Stuart, because he hasn't found himself in good positions generally. in the Premier League he played in.
One thing for sure, he has silenced the Boo Boys.
See, that's all you got to do is just average 109. He looks really comfortable, doesn't he? He has done since probably about the third, fourth leg.
This will be, without doubt, one of the highest ever averages that Gerwyn Price has thrown in a TV event, if not the highest. I'm sure we'll get that checked out before the end of the evening.
But it could be one of the best performances of his career because
of the context.
Exactly, the importance of it.
$95.
108, the average for the Welshman. Can he finish the job? Bit of pressure here.
Well, this is to guarantee himself a point. He hasn't been good on this. Is he going to be mustered on it now? The answer is yes. There's the raw.
And I think it's Daryl to throw first. Game on.
Not wrong with that. One leg from his first ever win in the Premier League after a real tough baptism 12 months ago.
100.
Actually, the bookie's favourite
97
to be eliminated, Gerwyn Price.
Yeah, along with
He won't
Barney.
be after this if he can clinch this.
58.
Just been totally outscored, Daryl Gurney.
135.
Currently averaging 105.93 Gerwyn Price. His highest average is 104.87 on TV against Simon Whitlock in the Grand Slam. But the pressure he's under to perform and to quieten the Boo Boys and to just be himself. There was a lot on him tonight, and to not get beaten, I think it's a real testament to how strong a character he is. We know how strong a man he is. Look at him, a beast.
83. Daryl require 109.
Well, this maybe has to go to stay in the match. Treble 19. So a chance for Price to win it in style.
He hasn't done a lot wrong, Daryl. Yes, he's made the odd mistake, but he's averaging a bang on a ton. And it may be nowhere near enough. This may be very, very similar to the 80. Wow. Wow, he just caught that flight. Tops now for the match.
100.
Well, I've got to say, they were two poor darts, the second and third.
16.
The second should have been nowhere near the first, and the third should have been nowhere near the first two. Pulled the pair of them.
Well, Price has still got a little bit of work to do, but he has the darts here. And he's already missed one dart for the match, but maybe, maybe the pressure is just weighing a touch too heavily on the shoulders of the Welshman here.
Of course. Winning a Premier League game is never, ever easy. And Gerwyn Price has never, ever won one. So that, again, just makes it more and more difficult. Everyone goes on about experience. When you've got bad experiences, they come into play as well.
60.
That was a let-off for Gerwyn Price. He's more or less dominated this match, but he doesn't find himself in that much of a dominating position now.
96.
That helps.
Just to get that first W in the column will mean so much. So Price.
And if he does win this leg,
100.
Gerwyn, he'd be joint top of the table with James Wade.
Come on, behave.
I'm just saying. It's the sort of thing I'd tell people. Oh yeah, top of the league at the Premier League once, yeah. I never was, of course.
Not even for an instant.
If you turn it upside down, it was always top. But Daryl now.
Hey, look at the 25 or ball.
105. Gerwyn, you require 140.
Already missed one match dart. Already missed one match dart. Well, that was a chance. It was sitting up perfectly, I think, for him.
82.
I think he was slightly unlucky with deflection, I've got to say. For a real kick in the guts, if you're Gerwyn Price, double 18.
78.
Gerwyn Price has already had a dart at tops. Can he hit the 18 and have another one? Yes, he can. Tops to win 7-4. That is a bit of class right there, and that is a relieved man. Daryl Gurney's beaten. Gerwyn Price wins his first ever Premier League match against Daryl Gurney by 7 legs to 4. He's a happy man, and so he should be. It's good to see the Welshman playing with that swagger again. Coming next, we have Mensur Suljovic, and he takes on Dobey.
Premier League live from Newcastle. Been a fascinating night so far. James Wade, a 7-4 win over Barney. Gerwyn Price with his first ever Premier League victory, 7-4 over Daryl Gurney. Local favourite Dobey takes on Mensur Suljovic next. Then a repeat of the World Championship final. Michael Van Gerwen against Michael Smith. And rounding off the night, Peter Snake by Wright against former world champion Rob Cross. Really fine performance from Gerwyn Price. Gurney started pretty well, but 104.113 average, 44% on his doubles, 6 180s from Gerwyn Price. Fine display. He's talking to Rodster.
Gerwyn, fantastic performance, your first ever win in the Premier League. Many congratulations, an average of 104, which is pretty close to your best ever on television. How are you feeling about that?
Was it 104?
104, over 104.
I felt I played okay, but I still missed chances early on, and I was 2-0 down, and at least should have been 1-0. I'm chasing the game, but to go 5-2 up from there on in, I was confident. I'm practicing backstage, and I'm not missing anything, but you know, it's tough to get up there and to score well, but especially against the crowd as well. But sometimes it makes me play a little bit better, like it did today, and you know, on other days it puts you off, but today it wasn't so bad.
Did you feel that the old Gezi Price swagger was back tonight? Because we haven't really seen it since the Grand Slam of darts.
Yeah, it's like you try and hold back a little bit, but I did it at the right times, and hopefully this time I don't get fined.
Yeah. Look, you mentioned the fine there. It was an enormous amount of money, and there's been a lot of flack flying around since the Grand Slam. Has that affected you and the way you've played the game of darts?
Yeah, of course it's going to affect me. I don't know how I'm going to play sometimes, but I go up there, try to be myself, and if it wins, it wins. If it don't, it don't.
Well, it's a cracking start in the Premier League. We know what happened last year, but this year you'll feel different off the back of that great win at Wolverhampton as well. Do you feel you can really make a mark this time?
No, I just knew what to expect this time. You know, I didn't expect all the travelling, and it was tough last year, and I did enjoy it, but I knew what to expect this year. I'm looking forward to it, and obviously today's nice to get a first win under my belt, so just looking forward to next week now.
Just one final thing, you mentioned the fine there. Have you decided whether you're going to appeal that fine or not?
No comment.
OK, we congratulate on the win. Well done tonight, Gerwyn.
Cheers.
Smiling. It was a good performance under a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, definitely. We touched on it. It's his first win in the Premier League. He's had that miserable campaign last year, so he showed a lot of courage up there. Like I said, the crowd on his back. It's going to happen every week now, so Gezi's got to be prepared for that. He did a really good job up there. His first win, 104 average. He'll be pleased like that, and he can take that into Glasgow next week now, where he's going to get booed even more.
104 average is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's quality, but we know Gezi can do that. He can play like that. He just hasn't been himself since the Grand Slam. It's not just his first win in the Premier League, it's his first win since winning that Grand Slam final. So he's back winning now, and that'll help him. And it's winning in a tournament he's never won before. It's only one game, we know that, so let's not get carried away. But he'll be confident now.
It's difficult. The shackles were on early on. He didn't want to celebrate, but then when he celebrated, he came good again.
Yeah, definitely. It's part of his game. He's got to do it. He's got to control it. We know that. Celebrate the right shot to the right time. He touched that on his interview. He felt he did it at the right time, and he did. And it was a good game. Daryl played well, but Gezi deserved the win.
Up next, Dobey, local favourite, takes on Mensur Suljovic. He's going to get a great reception. How's he going to cope with the pressure?
I think Chris will be fine. It's a bonus for him. He's only found out about it this week, but it's a great opportunity for him. I hope he doesn't come up here and think it's just a free night. He'll want to win, put himself out there for the coming years when he could be a contender to be in the Premier League outright.
Cheers. Up next, Dobey against Mensur Suljovic.
Talk about me, you better hashtag problem. Hashtag problem.
Simply sensational!
That is incredible.
Where do you know me from? 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 Where do you know me from?
Oh, that is unbelievable!
My name is the problem.
Sensational Suljovic!
Live in the flesh.
Mensur Suljovic, too good.
Chilly old night here in Newcastle, but things are about to heat up dramatically. Local hero Chris Dobey hits the stage next.
Welcome back to the action as we come to you live on Sky Sports from the magnificent city of Newcastle. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Unibet Premier League time to meet the players. Time to meet the first of our 9 contenders. Ladies and gentlemen, from Newcastle, England, would you please welcome a Grand Slam and Players' Championship quarter-finalist. Time to meet and welcome home Hollywood Chris Dobey! Ladies and gentlemen, from Austria, the former German dance master and the winner of the Champions League, the gentle Mensur Suljovic.
Newcastle in great voice. Chris Dobey had to take a large gulp of air as he made his way on stage. Local hero playing, lump in the throat, tear in the eye. It was magnificent, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, definitely. I think, higher stand on it, back of the neck there for Chris, definitely. But this is his dream, playing in front of his home crowd. He'll be hoping to do this in years to come, like you said, in the Premier League itself. But it's a massive opportunity for Chris. We know he's got the game. He proved that in the World Championship, pushing Gary Anderson so close. And it'll be a tough game for him against Mensur tonight.
What advice would you give him?
Just go out there and enjoy it, but at the same time, go out there to get the result. Don't think of this as just sort of a one-off night. This could be an audition for future Premier Leagues, future big events. So go up there, play like you can, Chris, because he's playing the best start of his career. He showed that in the World Championship, just missing out on the Gary Anderson victory. So he'll want to get a positive result tonight.
Not easy for Suljovic tonight.
No, definitely not. And Mensur didn't have a great World Championship, but he played well in the Masters last week. Had a good Premier League last year. I know he got eliminated, but we touched on his throwing average throughout the tour was just under 100. So if he keeps that up this year, I don't expect him to be eliminated again.
Can the local hero be a hero tonight? Way more than Rod stood.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. What a thrill that would have been for 28-year-old Chris Dobey to come out to local hero like Gazza, Beardsley and Shearer and co have done at St James's Park over the years. Really emotional stuff, and now he's got to get down to the business of playing darts and playing like he did against Gary Anderson at the World Championship when he really rattled the cage of the Flying Scotsman, forcing him to the very peak of his powers in the last 16, a match in which he hit 15 maximums. Gets Mensur Suljovic. Dark horse, I feel, Wayne, for the Premier League. As Mark Webster was just saying there, averaged 99 despite getting relegated, and only Anderson and Van Gerwen could average more than that throughout the tournament. Little unfortunate that the results didn't match the way he played, but they may do this year, of course. I think he's a threat in this tournament.
Yeah, he was losing 7-5, kind of, not on a regular basis, but seemed regular. Well, that will settle Chris down. He's made a real nervy start, which is to be expected. There's been many a player that's played on a Premier League stage and found it the place where they want to be. Some have found it tough. But the thing what's happening with Chris Dobey, and Mark said he's playing the darts of his life, which he is. And he's got to go up there, wrap in the big uns, and make his more illustrious opponent, Mensur Suljovic, winner of a World Series event and Champions League. He's got to make him panic.
Nothing settles the stomach like 3 treble 20s on the big stage. Forget all those headache remedies, they don't work as well as 3 treble 20s. Double 18! Magical stuff! A Hollywood finish from Hollywood Chris Dobey, the maximum backed up by the 1-1-3 out.
Well, after 6 real poor darts to start,
16.
then musters a 140, 180, 113. Has to settle him down.
59.
Chris Dobey, ranked 35 in the PDC rankings. And there you see all the places we're going to visit week in, week out. Glasgow, Glenn Durrant's playing there. Steve Lennon playing in Dublin. It's going to be brilliant, it really is, and some newish faces. We saw Luke Humphries play so well at the World Championships. Big Hendo. In Aberdeen.
140.
Nathan Aspinall, World Championship semi-finalist. And look at that. The Mercedes-Benz Arena, Berlin. Just the max hop.
And then Dimitri and JDZ at Rotterdam. We had something like this in 2009, Wayne, didn't we? We had guest players involved there. That was the year that you basically just gave up halfway through, and they had to fill the fixtures up.
Oh, come on now.
With Lewis and Priestley and Mark Webster. He played at Cardiff.
Come on.
So no need to allow mere medical diagnoses to get in the way of the facts.
Exactly.
But this is a flying start, isn't it, for Dobey?
It really is, and I was going to say a 140 or 136. He's in control of this leg as well. What a start from Dobey. Well, if they can take this opportunity, go 2-0 up. Now we know that Chris is a contender, a challenger, but Mensur Suljovic is playing for points. It's massively important. Every single match is massively important. Every game has a bearing on the league.
Well, when this was announced, this innovative scheme to fill in the Gary Anderson fixtures with 9 contenders, local heroes if you will, there are a few doubters. Where are the doubters now as Dobey turns on the style, averaging 107.5 with 2 maximums, now threatening a 9-dart leg? 110 now for Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Perhaps a star is born.
55.
Great win, that great performance at the World Championship. We saw him also at the Players' Championship finals, reached the quarter-finals, beat Chisnell and Wade on the way before losing to eventual winner Daryl Gurney.
16.
The last few months for him, like you said, the quarter-final with the players and last 16 of the Worlds, but he also got to a final of a tour event in October. He's kind of gone missing kind of mid-year, but he's back with a bang. Well, he's making a real mess of this. Treble would sort it out.
14.
Well, if you are going to make a mess, that's a pretty good time to make a mess with the opponent on 302. He's not going to knock a big enough hole in it.
128.
So no bother here for Dobey. He's got 6 darts at 81 to go 3 zip up on the World Match Play runner-up.
Well, 56 left. Picky double. Tops.
41.
We'll have time. Mensur. He's struggling at the moment because Chris is playing so well. For 3 zip. 3 zip.
Well, he won his last meeting against Suljovic, which is in the 2017 Players' Championship finals. He was rated a 3-1 underdog to repeat that feat tonight, but at the moment, it's a strong start from Chris Dobey.
It's really good because the first 6 darts were just so nervous. He was throwing them everywhere. And then the last 9 darts of that first leg would have really settled him down. And since then, he's looked a miles better player than Mensur. Is it again? We're in the 4th leg. We've had 4 maxes. 3 to Hollywood. A line out of the film Pretty Woman. What's your dream? I think he's getting his dream right now, don't you?
Bullseye!
96.
No, sir. And engaging out of going 4 behind Mensur Suljovic here. The world number 8, playing the world number 35. Couldn't find a treble with either of his first 2 darts. Suljovic coming back for 25.
That wasn't the bad dart, the second one, it was the first one. Made it really difficult for himself to get on the board. He's on the ball.
We saw a turnaround in the last match, didn't we, when Gerwyn Price went 2-0 down to Daryl Gurney, but then romped home 7-4 as Dobey. It's a 5th ton 40 to go with the 3 maximums.
In case you've just joined us,
40.
James Wade has already beat Raymond van Barneveld. Gerwyn Price just took care of Daryl Gurney. Chris Dobey currently leading Mensur Suljovic.
Well, there was discussion, wasn't there, about players saying, well, I mean, he's got this opponent, I've got that opponent. But Michael van Gerwen said it best, didn't he, when he just said, well, I don't know what you're complaining about. None of them are ranked as highly as Gary Anderson, so what are you complaining about?
Correct.
100.
Yeah. Michael said they've all had a result because no one they're going to play as good as Gary Anderson. World number 1, putting it perfectly.
140.
Van Gerwen will play Big Hendo in Aberdeen, and of course Big Hendo beat Van Gerwen at the World Grand Prix, didn't he, a couple of years back?
$140. Bishop Brown 164.
Well, if he doesn't take it out, he's looking for a 140 now. It'll be difficult from that lie. What a dart that was.
100.
Averaging 102. The contender.
140, Fisher bar 64.
At least he didn't come out with a could have been a contender, and asked us what film that was from as he looks at double H, and that's a lovely finish from Chris Dobey. And he goes 4-1 up now, averaging 102 at this point. At the 1-1-3 out shot, he's had 3 maximums as well. Really is the most accomplished performance, and as Wayne rightly pointed out, his first 2 visits to the board were terribly nervous. He was as nervous as a kitten up there, but he's certainly now turned into a cat. Suljovic is second.
Oh my.
Dobey's 4.
At this rate, Gary Anderson will never get invited again.
87.
I wonder if Mensur might claim later, I wish I'd been playing Gary Anderson. Dobey again 4 darts into a 9-dart bid.
97.
The important thing here is that he's right on Suljovic's tail, or 10 points in front here, with Suljovic having the advantage of throw as he looks to make this a double break.
He's upped it massively the last 3 legs, Mensur, as well.
137.
It's gone from 88 average to 100. Dobey's still averaging way over a ton, 105. You just get the feeling he's going to leave 44. He's playing beautifully, isn't he?
Quite brilliant performance from Chris Dobey. Suljovic under pressure here at this 97. He will get 2 darts at tops, however. He can't find it. This is for 5-1.
Yeah.
14 for Bull. Went hunting a treble, found the single, leaves the middle of the board, and hits the middle of the board.
Chris Dobey. Sounds like he's twisted through class.
Just last week, Chris would have got the phone call from the PDC. Do you fancy a game next Thursday in Newcastle, Premier League night? Since then, he'd have been thinking, oh, if I just go up there, play well, do what I can do, and I might win.
You do wonder, don't you, when he got the phone call and there was someone claiming to be either Barry Hearn or Matthew Porter, the CEO of the PDC, and he must have thought, which one of my mates here is taking the rise, ringing me up at this time of the day, claiming they want me to play in the Premier League in Newcastle next Thursday. The conversation would have been quite amusing, I should imagine, as he tried to work out whether it was genuine or not. Well, it is genuine, and he's genuinely playing an absolute blinder here.
Some days things go according to plan. They're everything you've dreamt of. So far, this is that day for Chris Dobey. He is having an absolute perler.
On the other side of the fence, of course, there's Suljovic,
82.
who's playing a guy ranked 31 spots below Gary Anderson. One wonders how he would have felt about the game, because obviously he's miles more likely to beat Dobey than he is to beat Anderson, but it's not turning out like that, despite the fact he's hit 3 maximums. Dobey, to earn at least a point here, wants single for double. Double top will earn him a point. Well, he doesn't get the point, but you take my point.
Yeah, the contenders, they're on a fee. If they draw, they get more. If they win, they double it.
So in their case, points mean prizes.
Yes.
Points mean pounds. Right then, double top, Chris. To at least draw the match, to not lose the game. Well, that's 4 darts he's had to ensure at least a share of the spoils.
It's on throw as well. Is Mensur going to miss again? Double 7.
He wins the leg, but
Mensur Suljovic there, the collector's item, as he missed 4 consecutive darts at double 14.
I was just looking through my records. He hasn't done that since 1956. Way before he was an embryo.
140.
I'm just putting point across. He's rare.
Dobey missed 4 at tops to get to 6. Mensur then missed 4 at double 14, but then nailed double 7 to keep his hopes of winning the match alive. Look at him go now, the big Austrian.
Well, we saw in the previous game with Gerwyn Price and Daryl Gurney at 5-2. It was looking it was going to go one way. But it gets to that point, if it goes 5-3, then the player has to hold. Otherwise, then it can quickly go level. Interestingly enough, Mensur Suljovic is now averaging just roughly the same that he was before that visit as Chris Dobey. And Chris is dominating. Tops.
56.
Didn't like that, did he?
He doesn't like tops. Said that many, many times. He's made it quite clear.
He made it clear there.
Well, he needs to make sure he stays at least straight in the single 20 here.
60, Mensur plus 20.
Double 10 for Mensur. He makes it back-to-back legs now. To silence the Toon Army. From 5-1 down to 5-3 down now, Suljovic.
Yeah, there's been pressure on Chris Dobey since the opening dart that he's handled quite beautifully. But there's a lot of pressure on now.
100.
He's leading 5-1. Darts to make it 6-1. Number 6. Number 6!
Matching the feat of the Welshman Gerwyn Price in the previous match.
Yeah, every game's been very, very good.
95.
No, you kind of expect it. It's Premier League night. But Gary Anderson here doing a job on Mensur.
94.
But look, if this was the scoreline and he's playing this well, you could easily pass for Gary's standard. Easily.
Same management stable, of course, and saw Gary Anderson
96.
tweeting best wishes to all the players in the Premier League. Very magnanimous and sporting of the great former world champion, who must be really disappointed because that back injury to rule him out of the Masters and of the Premier League for 17 weeks. Look forward to seeing him defending his world match play title in July, the Flying Scotsman. But Dobey here, 2 darts away from going 6-3 up.
74.
He's already had 4 darts for a draw. He's going to get his 5th. 6th. Oh my.
16.
This is not what he had planned. This is not what he dreamt of. Mensur for a breaker throw. And went out back on throw.
3 consecutive legs for Mensur Suljovic from 5-1 behind, and in those 3 legs Dobey has missed half a dozen darts at double. Suljovic missed a clump at double 14 as well, but
yeah, he ended up winning that leg, didn't he?
He won the leg, and it doesn't matter anymore, but the ones that Dobey missed certainly matter.
97.
Chris Dobey, interestingly enough, is using kind of an old-style Gary Anderson dart.
100.
Ninth 140. 6 180s as well, averaging just shy of 100. Mensur now averaging over 100.
140.
Everyone being treated to some delightful darts this evening. Week 1 of the Premier League.
100, Mensur 161. 90, Mensur 164.
The two treble 19 bull route.
64, Mensur
Leave a ton now with Suljovic on 71. That leaves double 16 to level the match. And that was a long way away when he trailed by 4 legs. 4 legs ago. He's won 4 straight, Suljovic. Levels you devils at 5 apiece.
100.
Yeah, Chris will be thinking, right, okay, been on the wrong end of the legs for the last 4, but he's created chances for himself. He's not been outplayed in them.
60.
He's just not taken those opportunities he was taking earlier. And he's got to stick in there and just carry on. He's doing nothing wrong.
100.
And we've already mentioned about, we think that Chris is playing some of the best darts of his life, and we know averages are just guides, but the only 3-figure averages ever recorded on the big stage was against Gary in that World Championships, and he's averaging 99 here. And if it stays like that, that would be his 2nd highest, 2 matches running. Shows you he's on the up.
140. 100.
Well, it's been a leg where he's hit 4 consecutive tons here, Chris Dobey, to leave 101. But will he get a crack at it? Or has Mensur got a party piece up his sleeve? Well, he virtually had, but he couldn't find the red bit, hit the green bit.
57. Mensur now
54.
Is in control of this match. For a point. Wow, he's come back well here. He really has. From 5-1 down, he now leads 6-5. Chris Dobey's had his chances. He could have already put him away. But Mensur, he's risen to the challenge. He's now got a point.
And if you erase the quartet of darts that missed double 14 from your mind, his finishing has been perfect in this passage of play. He then hit double 7 after all those misses, didn't he? And then he's gone bang, bang, bang and wrapped the next 3 up when the chances have presented itself. So Suljovic has upped his game. Dobey has created and missed chances for himself, and at this elite level, that's what happens.
Yeah.
$140.
Oh, that's magnificent. It really is. In a leg, he knows he may only get 12 darts. He's doing a good job at going out in those 12. As Mensur wraps in his 5th. Superb, guys.
Well, is there a fanfare finish from Suljovic here on the ball? No, sir. So Dobey now is going to get a stab here at 90. It might end in a bull attempt. He's already hit the ball once in this match. That was when he went 5-1 up.
60. Will stay there for 60 or 20. Now he needs the bullseye.
45. Mensur 76.
Mensur 48. Okay. Double 18. Well, that was a complete snatch. That was a pull. That was a tug. You name it.
Well, now Dobey will be glad he hit the 5 instead of the outer bull, because now he's got a choice of double. He can hit double 16 here from this position. He's got 2 in hand. He's missed 6 for a draw already. But he's hit that one, and Chris Dobey gets a deserved draw against Mensur Suljovic. A quite magical match on the banks of the Tyne. Dobey went 5-1 up. Amazing scenes in front of the packed house. Back came Suljovic to win 5 consecutive legs to lead 6-5. But then the local hero nicked the last leg, and the match ends all square. Chris Dobey 6, and Suljovic 6.
Been quite a night so far. James Wade, 7-4 victory over Barney, nearly 100 average from Wade. Gerwyn Price picking up his first ever Premier League win, 7-4 over Daryl Gurney. 6-1-8 from Chris Dobey, a hero's performance, 6-6 with Mensur Suljovic. Up next, repeats the World Championship final, Michael Van Gerwen against Michael Smith. And Peter Snakebite Wright against Rob Cross to round off the night. Chris Dobey, brilliant performance. 6-1-80s, just smash him in for fun. Had darts for a 6-1 lead. The Suljovic battle back, 6 apiece. Both men took it to Stuart Pike.
Well, thanks, Dave. Chris, first of all, I guess that was just the stuff that dreams are made of.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's great playing in front of these lot. The spurred us on somewhat rotten. They give us that little bit that I needed because being 5-1 up and coming back to be 6-5 down, if it wasn't for these lot, I possibly could have thrown it away.
Can you quite believe what's happened tonight, what you've just done, and the fact that you're here?
Oh, definitely. Like I say, it's what dreams are made of. We're getting our chance now because unfortunately Gary had to pull out, but we're here to try and take points off the big lads, and luckily for me, I've done it for the rest of the lads, so I think I've done the lads proud.
Mensur, in the end, are you glad to get 1 point?
I'm happy. I'm 6-6. I think I'm 100% I lose. I see 5-1. I come back. I think maybe I win. I don't know. This guy is very good play. Respect.
What do you think of the fact now that players like Chris are able to experience this and play against the likes of you?
I think I'm playing on Chris, I'm playing on Crowd. It's very hard. Crowd is brilliant. Chris play brilliant. Me play, it's okay. I come back. This game is okay.
Did you enjoy the atmosphere though? It was buzzing, wasn't it? Electric.
Not for me, for him. Otherwise, it's okay. This is correct. And this guy is perfect player. I'm happy. 6-6. It's okay.
Well, then that's your final word for you. You will hope that this is just the forerunner, the taste of things to come in future years.
Yeah, definitely. After that experience, I want to be here all the time. But I'll get my chance. I'll need to perform a little bit better on the floor and in majors, and then hopefully we'll see me up there more often.
Well done, Chris. Well done, Mensur. Thank you.
There's a talk of the tune. Great performance from Chris Dobey. Great fight back from Mensur Suljovic. The stats won't say it all. Very evenly matched.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual, really, honestly. There was 5-1 and 5-1. That was one half and then the other half, and it equates to 6-6. We know that. But if you look at the double success, they both had the same amount. If you look at the 180s, there was only one in it. If you look at the 140s, one in it. The ton pluses, one in it. It really was so closely matched. Even though Chris led 5-1, yes, he missed opportunities, but you've got to give credit to Mensur for not buckling, because he didn't play that great in the first 2 or 3 legs, but somehow found it within to keep Chris contained. Because Chris come out, the first 2 or 3 legs, the first few visits were really nervous, but he got over that. And he showed, Chris Dobey showed that some are going to come up here and think, this is where I belong. And this is what's really good about the way it's turned out. The way that this contenders, it's only week 1, I'm not getting ahead of myself, but this is what can happen. Chris Dobey's come up here and he's proven that he's good enough to be here, because he's mixing it with the very, very best. And who knows where it leads. And good luck to him. I thought he acquitted himself beautifully.
It was a risky decision to do this, but it seems to have worked so far.
Yeah, it's worked tonight. It's worked tonight. There are going to be, I'm assuming there's going to be the odd disaster around the corner, but it's a showcase of the players that are on tour that are making inroads. The last time he was on a big stage, Chris Dobey, he played great in the World Championships against Gary Anderson. He's carried it on here. He took Gary to what was effectively a last leg, and he's taken Mensur to the brink. Now, if we can get 3, 4, 5 more doing that, then all of a sudden it's, should we do this next year? Should we only have 9 invites and then the 9 contenders? Who knows? But I thought tonight it's worked brilliantly, and it picked the crowd up as well. That there's no doubt.
How do you follow that? Maybe a repeat of the World Championship final.
I was going to say, if you've got a game to follow it up, it's, if Michael Smith can improve on last year, that means he's going to win something massive this year. And the only man that could stop him was Michael van Gerwen in the Premier League final, when Michael was playing a World Championship pace, a world record pace, and the World Championship final where he got the better of Michael Smith again. Michael Smith has got the world at his feet, but he's got to somehow find a way of beating this man that he's got tonight. And maybe tonight's the night.
Newcastle, get ready to welcome the world #1, the reigning world champion, mighty Michael van Gerwen hits Newcastle next.
Michael van Gerwen is a phenomenon. What a performance from this Dutch darting juggernaut.
Simply sensational!
Every bit about his game is superb.
Magnificent Michael van Gerwen!
Michael van Gerwen is in beast mode. The pace of Michael Smith. Oh my! Amazing!
The world #1 proves without any shadow of a doubt that he is the #1.
Take a bow, young man. Take a bow.
He's hit the bull, bully boy! That's high voltage darts.
Are you kidding me? Oh my, oh my.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Unibet Premier League, coming to you from the magnificent city of Newcastle. And now, ladies and gentlemen, joining us live on Sky Sports and the millions of viewers joining us around the world, it's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, from St Helens, England, would you please welcome a Premier League and World Championship finalist, the former World Youth Champion and the winner of the Shanghai Darts Master, the bully boy, Michael Smith! And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Raymond in the Netherlands, time to meet the world #1, the reigning and defending four-time Premier League champion and the newly crowned three-time champion of the world, mighty Michael
reached the World Championship final and last year's Premier League final as well. Michael van Gerwen hunting down a 5th Premier League crown. Can anyone stop him this year, Wayne?
Well, he's just proven too good too often in the league phase, at least. He's topped it every year since 2013. He looks kind of just, I'm not going to say better than ever, but he looks a class above absolutely everyone. And recently, in the big finals, which are obviously the World Championships, but in this last year he played Michael Smith, and he averaged 112 in that final. There's a massive difference in class between Michael and everyone, but Michael Smith is a man that is on the up, and I've been saying it for 5, 6, 7 years, and I've been a backer of Michael Smith. I think he's got an ability that can rival Michael van Gerwen. He's just got to go up that extra level, and that's it. He's there because on a leg-by-leg basis, he's got it.
Thanks, Wayne. Mark Webster, Stuart Pike in commentary.
Thanks, Dave. The king against the man who would be king. Can they serve up a scintillating start to the Premier League? Yeah, without doubt, Michael van Gerwen, the standout player over the last few months, and Michael Smith, who achieved part of a dream, reaching the World Championship final. Many believe could be an heir to Michael van Gerwen's throne. Do you concur, Mark Webster?
Definitely signs of progress last year. Obviously, Premier League final,
134.
World Championship final. He'll want to take that next step now, Michael. He wants to start winning. Michael Smith, that is, and it's he's got to produce it against Michael van Gerwen in these big games, because he was unlucky in a few sets in the World Final, but ultimately he lost the game comfortably 7-3. He lost the final in the Premier League, so he needs to get close to Michael in these big games now.
134.
Yeah, incredible loss, didn't he? 7-3. But he had darts to win. 5 out of the last 6 sets, won 3 of them. It may have been different. It wasn't different. It was the... Look at this for Michael Smith, looking for the perfect start, and there it is with a 93 finish to strike the first blow and break Michael van Gerwen with a 12-darter.
Quality start from Michael Smith, and we touched on that World Championship run, Stu. The pressure was on Michael Smith because that section of the draw was favourable, and his quality anyway. He's going to carry pressure, but he dealt with it really well. Every game he took in his stride, got to the final. Michael just had a little bit too much in the final for him, but it was progress, and this guy, he craves perfection. He wants to win. He's not content with just runners-up and semi-final appearances. He wants the big win.
Well, experience won the day, without a shadow of a doubt, at the World Championship final. Michael van Gerwen swept aside all comers, of course, winning his 5th straight Masters title at the weekend in Milton Keynes.
No one really got close to him, Stu. No. I don't think anybody got within 4 or 5 legs, was it, in any of the tie? It was a relatively routine win for Michael van Gerwen last weekend.
No one got close at the Ali Pali.
haven't got close at the Masters. That's why he is the master of his craft.
And a boost to him as well. His biggest rival, probably Gary Anderson, not here.
Game's on the second leg.
We hope Gary gets well soon and gets back on the board.
Third leg is Michael Van Gerwen to throw first. Game on.
The first weekend of the 2019 Pro Tour. This weekend in Wigan Players Championship tournaments. Gary Anderson won't be playing. His back injury still troubling him. But he is hoping to play the next batch of Players Championship events. The latest news from the Anderson camp is that he is receiving intensive treatment, seeing 2 specialists in a bid to get sorted. The rigours of the Premier League just proving too much of a hurdle for the 2 times Premier League champion.
Yeah, he's definitely done the right thing. He's got a manager's schedule that, you know, a back injury is one of the worst in darts, so he's just got to manage that. Like you said, just ease himself into some Pro Tours and try and get himself ready for tournaments throughout the year. Because he's had a good year last year, won a lot of titles to defend, and he needs to be 100% when he's playing in these comps. So I hope Gary, like I said, gets back to full fitness soon.
139.
Van Gerwen 109, Smith 102. The average is early doors. They're not letting us down.
58.
Typical Van Gerwen, heading straight back after losing that opening leg on throw. So Smith will get a shot. 140.
140.
Just dropping low, so Van Gerwen will return for the 2-1 lead.
56.
Touching on there, Michael Van Gerwen just breaking straight back. He never lets legs materialise into a bad run. It's really hard to whittle off leg upon leg against Michael Van Gerwen.
Big ask this for Michael Smith will always be
85.
Incredible that Van Gerwen has topped the Premier League table in every single year since his debut back in 2013.
97.
He's also featured in every single Premier League final since his debut. Won 2013,
434.
lost the next 2 years and won the last 3. No wonder he is the odds-on favourite. He is the man to beat.
93.
It's a tournament that Michael enjoys, and it favours him in a way. It's that round-robin long format. He can afford a couple of defeats, and as we know, he doesn't dwell on the defeat. He doesn't let it bother him. He'll return the week after and put it right. So the margin for error is there for Michael Van Gerwen, and he doesn't really need it, does he? He's that good.
180 from Smith, 174. Back bites Van Gerwen. Top so for Smith.
62.
But he's given himself a chance. Well, these are the chances that Smith has to take, 93. The chances that he didn't take at the Ali Pali in that World Final.
3 darts at tops, the must. Yeah, good second dart for Michael Smith.
Fifth leg is Michael Van Gerwen to throw first. Game on.
Touched on in the first game that credit to James Wade, who'd been left out of the Premier League a couple of times and returned the year after. Michael Smith, who won his debut in the Premier League, was fortunate to play twice on the first night and lost both those games, and it became a long struggle for him, and he was left out the year after. But he's back now. He got to the final last year, and I'm expecting him to be a regular fixture in the Premier League for years to come and be at the back end of all the majors.
Will Smith take a draw? I think so.
Of course he will, yeah.
Before a dart was even thrown, he'd take a point against Van Gerwen just to get the campaign underway. Of course, Smith finished second in the group stages behind Van Gerwen last year.
Michael Smith will be targeting the top 4 and then take it from there, but he knows there'll be bumps on the way. And in some way, it's probably best to play Michael Van Gerwen in the first week. If you can nick a point or nick a win, and it's out the way then.
Game's on the 5th leg, Michael Van Gerwen.
13 darter.
6th leg is Michael Smith to throw first.
2 breaks of throw, but we are on throw. Smith here looking to level once again.
140.
But I guess it is all about just gaining that experience of, well,
No,
the biggest match of his life, the biggest match in any player's life, a world final at the Ali Pali, and you know, he has to kick on. He knows that. To a certain extent, I know, speaking to him, he's put pressure on himself for 2019, that the goals that he's set himself, you know, top 4 place, number 6 in the world at the moment, but the #1 target for Michael Smith is a big, major TV title. And I think it's within his grasp.
Definitely, he's an ambitious guy, he wants to win. Whilst he's been happy with making the finals of the Premier League and the World Championship, he wants to win. He's had that win on the World Series. He's had that World Series win, which is helping his confidence. He looks the pan. He's grown up a lot as well, Michael Smith. We saw, you know, early on in his career, a bit of petulance, but he learned from it, and you know, he's settled down now, and he's going to be at the back end of all these majors.
Well, they both had darts at the bull. Double 5. Well, the first dart made it really awkward. There's just a chance that Van Gerwen has been waiting for to pounce in the Premier League opener. He knows, and we know. Yeah, he was a long, long way away. Correct, Michael. It's the other Michael who goes 4-2 up.
Smith there. I think he needs to have a little shuffle along the hockey there. The dart of the 5 was so high up, it looked like it blocked the double 5. So when he was returning, he really overpitched it. And as you said there, he illustrated with his hand gesture that he was miles away from it. Michael Van Gerwen duly punished.
At the moment, Michael Smith not really competing with Michael Van Gerwen as far as the scoring is concerned. 105.5, the defending Premier League champ, just 92 now, Michael Smith. Look at those numbers. Interesting, you know. Last year, Van Gerwen averaged over 100 in all but one of his 18 matches in the Premier League. It's an astonishing record.
It's incredible. And Mike wants to keep setting records. He'll be looking to win every game in this Premier League. Never done before, but he'll be looking to do it just to set that marker down. He wants to, as we say, there's a bit of a golfing quality between Michael and the rest at the minute, and he'll want to keep stamping that.
96. $135. 58.
Can I make any headway here, Michael Smith? Well, a little bit of pressure thanks to the last dart. This is for total control. Well, look for the treble to lead the double. Smith has had chances again. He's not taken them. Can he take this one? One dart. Again, the reaction tells you everything. Similar pattern to the world final. Chances for Smith not taken.
A chance. And these don't come along often, so Michael Smith's got to chip this away now. And as we said, get that break straight back. Good there, Michael Smith. A bit of a head shake, but it's the leg. Break with the Michael Van Gerwen throw.
Yeah, back in it. Surprisingly back in it. Running 4 breaks of throw in the 7 legs that we've seen so far, but a dreadful start to the 8th leg. Van Gerwen looking to punish. See those 3 little stars on his left shoulder? There they are, marking his 3 World Championship titles. And he wants a bit of symmetry.
91.
He wants 3 on the other shoulder in the next 3 years. Just to square it off. You wouldn't say no.
No, you wouldn't put it past him, and the only surprise is the way he's been playing the last few years that he hasn't actually got more already.
Well, his big target, isn't it, is 6. That's what he wants. That's his first target now as far as World Championships are concerned. To overtake Raymond van Barneveld and the the late, great Eric Bristow.
120.
You need a bit of luck to beat Michael van
130.
Gerwen. How important will that prove to be? We shall see.
Definitely.
90.
That miss there, even if it hit the 20, it leaves Michael 130, and he only needs one treble here now, but he needs the 2. It's a good mark. He'll stay there. Double 15. Great finish from Michael Smith. Good composure from that disappointing bounce out the last leg. And we're level again.
Well, how about that? Quality! Quality! And more quality from Michael van Gerwen this time. Well, Smith far from his best, but he has battled away. And that 7th leg, when for the first time in the match he was given a second opportunity by van Gerwen, he took it. But the 150 was, well, it was delicious, wasn't it? You got the feeling he fancied it from the first treble 20 that went in. Perfectly positioned, first dart.
Real quality, because he knew the mark was there. No switching to the treble 18 or using the ball for tops. He just went straight at it, double 15, and it was great composure. And yeah, fair play to Michael Smith. He's, you know, he's 10 points behind on the average, but I think you have to accept that when you play Michael van Gerwen, you're going to be behind on the averages. You've got to take your chance, and he's done that in the last few legs.
56. $99.
Well, needs the lot, really. No finish.
84.
So you would think
86.
van Gerwen on easy street here.
Definitely time on the side. Double 4.
Yeah,
good finish from Michael. No panic for Michael Smith. He was on the van Gerwen throw, so he's just got to clear 2 big legs on his throw now.
60.
Week 2 in Glasgow next Thursday. Van Gerwen takes on Mensur Suljovic.
121.
Michael Smith plays Peter Wright. The local hero, by the way, the contender in Glasgow next week, as Michael Smith finds a second maximum in Glasgow. 3 times Lakeside champion Glen Durrant takes to the Premier League stage. Looking forward to that.
Definitely looking forward to watching Glen play. Clinching that 3rd World Championship just last month and getting his tour card, so he's on the PDC circuit now, and he did it the hard way, but he showed the different qualities about him, those battling qualities to get that tour card. I'm sure we'll see more of it this year.
174.
180, 174 has left double 16 after 12.
180.
Back comes Michael van Gerwen with the maximum to pressure the shot. Good first start from Michael Smith.
Michael van Gerwen to throw first. Game on.
Well, he's won 3 out of the last 4 legs, Michael Smith.
140.
Cracking game here in Newcastle.
100.
Premier League sellout, over 7,000 for the opening night.
100.
The qualities in Michael Smith's game is what he's added is when he's averaging 92, almost 93 here, but that's not his A game. But when he's not playing his A game, he's got that ability to graft now. When he's not playing like he can, getting results, winning games, he could potentially still win this, but he stayed in the games. It looked like it was going all wrong in leg 7. He's dug in, he doesn't drop his head now, and that's why we've seen an upturn in Michael Smith's results the last 18 months, 2 years.
100. Michael Maguire, 121.
Which way will he go? Treble 20, would have left double 18. £250,000
65.
for the winner. It's incredible, you know, just looking back, Michael van Gerwen is a Premier League millionaire.
139.
$1,100,000 in Premier League prize money alone. As he forces a last leg, he's guaranteed at least a point here. All the pressure now on Michael Smith. What a cracking game. Can Smith get the point that he deserves? Well, that'll help for starters.
It's a good Just touch on the prize money as well, Stuart. 25,000 bonus for whoever tops the league as well. Plenty of incentives for all players.
That's incredible. So 2013, £1,100,000 from this tournament alone.
Yeah, it's incredible. But he strives on it, and like I said, he can be afforded a few defeats, a few bad results, but he bounces back the week after. He doesn't dwell. He just generally, when he loses, he'll win a tournament that weekend or the weekend after. He never lets it materialise into a bad run.
54.
Couldn't afford a bad visit. Is that the bad visit from Michael Smith that turns the game?
108.
The way of Michael van Gerwen with a fifth 180 to leave 81 after 9. One slip. Is it going to be a costly slip?
Likely require 81.
Good response for Michael Smith, though. Michael van Gerwen over 2 darts.
That is why he's the Premier League champion. That is why he's the world champion. And that is why he's the world #1. Smith gave it a real go. But in the end, it's Michael van Gerwen who wins another one in the Premier League with another top plus average of 105. Van Gerwen wins 7-5. Cracking game. Peter Wright against Rob Cross coming up to round off night 1 of the Premier League.
Premier League live from Newcastle. It's been an entertaining night. James Wade 7-4 over Raymond van Barneveld. Gerwyn Price picking up his first ever Premier League win, 7-4 over Daryl Gurney. Great performance from Chris Dobey, 6-1 80s and a 6-all draw with Mensur Suljovic. Michael van Gerwen putting his foot to the accelerator at just the right time, 7-5 over Michael Smith. And still to come, Peter Snakebite Wright against Rob Cross. Another entertaining game. Michael Smith played a massive part in that. Matched each other dart for dart. But Van Gerwen got the scores when it mattered. Wrapping up the victory. 7-5, 104.983 average. He's talking to Rod Stud.
Michael, welcome back to the Premier League. A cracking start for you, a great win. Listen, you've had some really good battles against Michael Smith recently, the World Championship final, the final of this competition, the Grand Slam of darts. What did you make of that latest game you had against him?
I think it was an okay game, I think, for the people to watch, but I think for both our players, in some patches we played phenomenal legs, and some patches we played absolutely crap. And you can't do that against each other, neither for him and for myself. I'm really glad I hit that 81 on the end, because otherwise it's probably going to be a draw. And he had a phenomenal 150 finish, but I said to everyone early on, Michael is a good player, he's got loads of talent, and you could see when the scoring goes, he can put me under pressure. And I wasn't really comfortable in this game, I don't know why, but yeah, I have to work a little bit harder, but I'm really glad I managed to win it.
You've had many rivalries against many players, Gary, Phil Taylor, Barney, etc. Do you see Michael as developing a real rivalry between you two now? I know you're winning most of the games, but do you see it as a rivalry?
Maybe not yet, but he's developing something good for himself that can damage any other player, and he's a phenomenal player and he knows that. And of course he's got a few things where he can have a little bit of maintenance on in his head, things like that, but for the rest, phenomenal.
You're looking for a fourth consecutive win in the tournament and also to finish top again. I know you, that'll be 7 years on the trot if you can do it. I know you make a big thing of that, don't you? It's important to you to be top of the league, isn't it? It shows your dominance. You like that?
Yeah, of course I like the dominance, because that's a nice message for the other players. Was it fantastic tonight? I don't know, what was my average?
I think it was round about 104. 104, it was 104.
Okay, it's not really bad, to be fair. But still in some patches I can work a little bit harder, and yeah, I'm looking forward always to next week. It's always nice to start off with a win. It's going to be a tough, even without Gerwyn, it's going to be a really tough Premier League series.
Yeah, good man, we'll see you next week up in Glasgow. So thanks for joining us, Michael.
Thank you very much, everyone.
It's a bit worrying when you're not happy with 104.983 that average. Michael Smith, really good performance from him as well, but Van Gerwen gets the victory. You won't like the look at this though. Gerwyn Price tops the table from James Wade, and then Michael van Gerwen Suljovic in fourth position. 105 average, and he's still not happy. Takes a lot of pleasing, Michael van Gerwen.
Yeah, but he aspires to perfection. I mean, 104, 105 average is real quality, but he knows in himself that he can do better, and he'll want to keep doing better in the coming weeks.
The 54 in the last leg from Smith blew it for him. It could have been a draw, couldn't it?
Yeah, it was, in the context of the match, it wasn't a massive slip, but when you're playing Michael van Gerwen, it is. He left 67 after 12 darts and didn't get a shot at a double, and that's the qualities Michael van Gerwen's got. He put the pressure on when he knew Smith was throwing for the draw, and he got over the line, and that's what he does.
Last match of the night, Peter Wright against Rob Cross. Difficult to predict because neither playing particularly well at the moment.
No, these guys definitely need something from this tournament. They had a disappointing World Championship. A lot of pressure on Rob, obviously defending his title, so hopefully a bit more relaxation from now. But Peter, very disappointing. He said he was going to address the situation with his darts. I'm not sure if he has. But they need a good run in this. They've got big years ahead. They've got a lot of money to defend, so their ranking is under severe pressure.
Final match of the evening, Cross against Wright coming next.
Come on, watch me.
gentlemen, welcome back to the Unibet Premier League, coming to you live on Sky Sports from the magnificent city of Newcastle. Time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this party started. Snakebite Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the former champion of the world, Voltage, Rob.
Against Rob Cross to round up what's been a really fascinating night of darts. High quality. Rob Cross, he had a pretty decent Premier League run last year.
Yeah, definitely. It was an impressive debut for him because he was under a lot of pressure. He didn't have a good start, but he made the playoffs. Losing out to Michael Van Gerwen 10-6 in that semi-final, but a good campaign. He'd have liked to have a better year last year, but it wasn't to be. And the pressure of that world title's gone now, so hopefully Rob can kick on. He needs to this year. He picked up big amounts of money in every tournament 2 years ago, so he's got a lot to defend.
Same for Peter Wright as well.
Yeah, Peter won the UK Open a couple of years ago, a lot of European Tour and Pro Tour wins, so these guys are under a lot of pressure to maintain their rankings. So this Premier League's a bit of a release for him. It doesn't affect the rankings, but it's still a chance for him to build up confidence to defend that money and go well in the other majors during the year.
Thanks, Mark. Wayne Mardle, Rod Stunning commentary.
Thank you, Dave. Yes, the world number 2, Rob Cross, against the world number 3, Peter Snakebite Wright. Final match of the evening here in Newcastle. And according to bookmakers, the most likely players to reach the semi-final, Van Gerwen and Smith, we've just seen, and the pair who are about to play. And they met in Newcastle in the Premier League last year when Cross won by 7 legs to 4. Can he repeat the feat? What do you think? Away?
Got to say, I kind of agree with Mark Webster. I think both of these are on a kind of roller coaster of rankings, emotions.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First
He said Rob Cross number 2, Peter Wright number 3. They're not currently playing like that. The standard has just dropped a bit. Peter Wright and Rob, two of the most consistent players when they're at it. have just been slightly inconsistent of late, especially Peter Wright. But he had a decent-ish run, Peter, to the semi-final of the recent Masters.
114.
He did. He reached the semi-final, didn't he? But he did have to survive a couple of match starts from Adrian Jackpot Lewis, didn't he, in the first round? So it could easily have been a disappointing outcome. Lewis missed, Wright hit, and he went on to be quite a successful tournament. But that shows the fine margins at elite level darts. Cross on the World Championship, but survived match starts in 2 occasions against Michael Smith and Michael van Gerwen. So always helps.
Rob on debut last year, reaching the semi-final. Peter finished 7th, which was a bit of a dip in form for him. Between some of the real poor performances from both players, there's been some world-class darts, as you'd expect, but they'd expect a bit more of themselves, has to be said. And this is a lacklustre start from Wright.
57.
That treble, followed by another, makes it odds on a break of throw in the first leg of darts here for the former world champion.
$57. Rob, you require 55.
$19 or a 15? What do you fancy? But in 2017 and the 2018 World Championships, double 18 was just pinging and popping in from absolutely everywhere. Whenever he looked at it, he seemed to hit it, Rob Cross. And he hits it in that opening leg.
Yeah, he was so adept. Sometimes he felt even if he wasn't looking at it, he'd be able to hit it. Lovely darts to back up the double that broke the right throw.
Against Adrian Lewis last weekend, Peter Wright was averaging kind of low 70s for the first 3 or 4 legs. With that ton, that's put him up to just averaging 80. You can't keep starting slow, because you just be behind and never catch up against the real big hitters of the Premier League.
Well, an early break for voltage, and now he looks like backing it up with a very comfortable hold of throw for 2-0.
144.
Doesn't seem to be forcing them, Rob Cross, at the moment, like he's been doing the last 4 or 5 months. Seems to have more rhythm. It's always a positive. Tops for 2-0. Oh yeah. Averaging 120.24. I know it's early days, I'm just saying it. What on earth?
$38. $93.
Well, compared to what Rob's been doing, that 93 is a poor score.
He had 25 darts in the first couple of legs.
81.
It's a 10-darter in the last leg. We haven't seen better yet, have we?
Yes, at the media day yesterday at St James Park, Peter Wright, dressed in the Toon Army's black and white colours, but opted for something more conservative this evening.
I like it. Snake bite. Look at that. You've got to be good. You've got to be real good to wear clobber like that.
121.
Oh, in the first couple of legs he was being clobbered by Cross, who won both of those. Right here looking to get a leg on the board on his own throw. We've seen Van Gerwen start with a win. Gerwyn Price, hugely impressive. James Wade taking full advantage of missed darts at double by Van Barneveld, and a really thrilling draw between Chris Dobey, the contender, and Mensur Suljovic.
60.
He really is hanging on it, Peter Wright. He needs Rob Cross to miss this. He's playing dreadfully, Peter, averaging 77. And if Rob can hit this tops, he'll be in real big bother already.
73. Peter require 87.
Double 18. Oh, he squeezes it in. It's an important dart, it's an important double, it's an important leg for Peter Snakebite Wright. Survived a dart at tops from his opponent, which would have put him 3-0 down. Now closes the gap to just 1.
That was a brilliant finish. Considering he'd hardly been hitting any target he was going for. Took it to 51, double 18. It was a real fillip for him. I think he needs to pick up the pace, to be fair. Just sometimes tries to be that little bit too deliberate, and with that you can lose your rhythm. Suits some, I'm just not quite sure it suits Peter.
134. See
Rob Cross impressive on the treble 19 cover shooting a World Championship. I recall him almost never missing treble 19. I think it was at Cristo Reyes, wasn't it, Wayne, that game?
Unable to miss it.
Incredible it was.
Yeah, if you're going to succeed
41.
on the big stages in world darts, you've got to be adept at treble 20 hitting, cover shooting and double hitting. Well, he had time to switch around and set up exactly what he wanted. Peter's just being outplayed.
However, if Cross should miss 3 in his favourite double, then we could have a level game in 2 throws of a Peter Wright dart.
Yeah.
But he does not miss. He goes 3-1 up.
Rob Cross averaging 111. Peter Wright upped his average to 86. Just far too many visits that Rob Cross can jump all over, and he has been so far. Well, that was a release so late. I wonder if he released it at all. Cross, of course, winning the World Championships last year. Peter Wright, 2014 runner-up to Michael van Gerwen. But his big moment come really when he had a chance to win this magnificent title, Peter Wright. And he had Michael van Gerwen on toast to let him off in the latter stages.
140.
Well, having conceded that early break of throw, Peter Wright, and it could not have been earlier, it was in the first leg. All he's got to keep doing now is trying to hold and then have a crack at cross.
100.
Just not want to go two breaks the throw down. If he does, he really is in pushing Custard uphill with a fork territory against this man who really is recapturing the standard of play that we saw him produce in that World Championship win, and particularly in that incredible final victory. Wright wants tops.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
Superb. Peter Wright's won 2 legs. He's taken out a ton in 2 and 87 in 2. Scoring's just not there at the moment. And Rob has looked quite comfortable in averaging 105. It looks like he's not doing anything special, but that's what special players do, don't they?
Yeah, Wright has put, well, 15 points on his early average, and Cross is just steamrolling on, and that is the first maximum of the match.
He's finding his feet now. Massively improved in the first 2 or 3 legs, Peter Wright.
96.
Chance now. Needs at least 2 big trebles. Oh yeah. Just the 3 of them.
Well, now can Rob Cross pull this out of the bag, because now Wright is 2 darts away from levelling the match. Cross wants treble 20 for the bull. Can't find it. Suddenly now out of the blue, Peter Wright has produced an absolute corker of a leg to leave 41 after 9. And it's a match levelling opportunity on double 16.
Incredible. Absolutely did not see that happening. Peter Wright was averaging in the 70s. Rob Cross was averaging 111 at the time and was 2-0 up. And now Peter Wright is banging on the door of a ton average. That's how improved he's been in the last 3 or so legs. You've got it. Shows you can turn it on at any time, any situation, even against former world champs. Look at that. Mardlesque darts the first 2 legs from Snake Bite.
Then leg 6 was the 11-dart leg.
134.
To level the match.
That's been the difference in Peter Wright's setup.
96.
With the aluminium stem and the smaller flight. The dart, when it goes above the treble now, he has to move away. It kind of lays a bit flat for him. Means that he can put the dart on top rather than under. So obviously his preferred
95.
lie. So that's a perfect marker for him.
Well, hold the bat pays, because Peter Wright now is potentially 2 darts away from taking the lead in the match. A match in which, for the first 4 legs, he was on the wrong end of a toweling.
60, featuring a 88.
Bit of slip there from Cross. Could have left 32 and put this 88 under all sorts. 18 or 54 wasn't interested. Bullseye! Oh my! Well, Peter Wright's finishing. 87, 100, 41 in 2 and 88. They're the 4 legs he's won. I've seen a couple of games tonight where players have reeled off legs. Dobey, 5-1 up, ended up drawing. So that was a 5-1, 5-1 swing. Gerwyn Price reeled off 5 legs on the bounce. In the last 3 legs, Peter Wright is averaging, with that 180, about 115, 116. Astonishing!
99.
Well, he does have that incredible average in the Premier League in Leeds, where he averaged 119 and a half in 2017. Adrian Lewis is on the wrong end of that.
Of all the averages, I still find Raymond van Barneveld's the most funniest. The reason I say that is he averaged 115.80 and lost 7-4. How is that even possible against Phil Taylor? It was madness, absolute madness.
60, Rocky McLeod 128.
Oh, double 4.
120.
Well, that is only the 3rd dart missed in a double in the entire match, would you believe? Wright has not missed one. He's not going to even attempt one at this visit. What he's trying to do is leave tops, pressurise the double 4.
100, Robbie McLeod 8.
Gotta go. For 4-4. Oh my, now he wants 4. Pressure on this. Got to get there. It's hard to get in there when you're under the cosh. Now he's turned this round. 3-1 down. Peter Wright was.
2 at double 10. Not missed a dart at double yet tonight. Well, he can afford to miss that one. It's this one that matters. And he misses a brace, would you believe? So Cross has missed 4 at double 4 and its derivatives. Wright's missed 2 at double 10. Now what? Oh. Eventually Cross gets there. Well, it was a scruffy leg, but it matters not. The match is all square at 4 each.
He'd rather win one of those than lose one. If
131.
He'd have lost that cross, would have been all sorts of trouble after being in such a great position. Just starting to release the dart that little bit later now. That basically means that he's trying to force the dart up shortly after releasing it and creating that kind of horrible follow through that looks a bit stressful.
82.
The earlier you can release the dart, the smoother it will fly. As long as you have a full and extended follow through, this is what happens.
All square on the maximum count, 2 apiece. All square on the leg count, 4 apiece.
100.
All square on the turntable. Well spotted, Wayne. 10 each, 7 each, 2 each. You were excited by that symmetry, weren't you?
Yes.
Which has been ruined by Cross.
Yeah, how dare he?
140 here, Wayne, to level it up again. There's Peter.
140. Robbie Carl 123.
To break. Couldn't get it.
55. Peter Carl 48.
To hold. Tops. No snaky, double 10. Oh, he gets it this time. Goes 5-4 up. A seesaw struggle.
There's Patrick, 13 today. Happy birthday, sir. What a way to spend your birthday, eh? Watching the darts. Watching the world's best go at it.
140.
Got to say, I've been really impressed with the way both of these have played so far. They haven't been playing that great. Cross showing the form, averaging 105. Peter Wright now banging on a ton.
100.
World-class darts from the number 2 and 3 in the world. Premier League Roadshow, it's the Glasgow next week. Unfortunate that they won't see Gary Anderson there.
86. Robbie Rapar, 161.
Yes, on Valentine's Day, when I will have the misfortune of being with you, Wayne, instead of Mrs. Stud.
99.
I have no response.
More pertinently, has Cross got any response? He's to going 5-4 behind here. He's left 62 after a dozen darts, but under a whole heap of pressure from Snaky again. That's a terrific dart. That leaves 2 at double 16. Crucial. Oh, you've got to hand it to him. Levels the match. 5 each. On course now for our second draw of the night. We saw the stalemate between Dobey and Mensur Suljovic earlier on this evening.
Peter Wright averaging bang on 100. Rob Cross 103.59. More importantly,
58.
For both, it's 5-5. Nothing to choose between them. With a couple of legs gone, it was all Cross.
134.
It certainly wasn't all right.
Chapeau.
134.
Back-to-back 134s. Excellent standard here. And the way that Peter Wright has found his A game after lurking somewhere towards the end of the alphabet for his first couple of legs has been very, very impressive.
There's been a lot of impressive performances tonight. For night one, the guys look really settled. Credit to them.
Will he go for the ball? The old showman.
102.
Snaky showman, Snaky. Goes for the ball, leaves 25.
$94. Peter Brown, 25.
Well, this is to guarantee that he will leave Newcastle with a point. Whoops. Double 4 then. And in it goes, and Peter Wright, from 3-1 behind, now leads 6-5, so wins 5 out of 7 legs there in that passage of play. It really has been a superb fight back from Wright.
And this hasn't been because Rob Cross has gone completely off the boil. We're still averaging over 102. It's because of Peter Wright's timing and brilliance. Finishing has been excellent. Scoring
100.
has been superb the last 8.5 legs. First 2 legs just not at the races. Will that end up costing him a win, or will he win this leg and snatch a victory? That was really unlucky from Rob Cross. Oh yeah, it's all about timing. That is magnificent.
Well, it is magnificent. He's now odds on to win the match.
$140. $105.
It's 116. All Rob Cross can do. Is it a huge one? Hope Wright misses, and he goes out. There's the huge one.
77. He's about 160.
419s for tops here for Peter Wright. Will he go up to the treble 20s? Yes, he will. The more traditional route for double 18. What a choice of double.
98.
He wires it on the inside. He tried to hoist Rob Cross by his own petard on his favourite double. Sneaky, snaky.
That was a dart to win the match. Now, Rob Cross has a dart to draw the match. That is a draw. Rob Cross and Peter Wright, they fight it out. And in the end, it's a 6-all draw. That is the end to what's been a really entertaining night of darts here in Newcastle on night 1 of the Premier League. If it carries on like this, it's going to be memorable indeed.
Fireworks go off. Been plenty of fireworks tonight. Really good night of darts. 6 apiece between Peter Snakebite and Rob Cross. 101.56 average from Wright. 103.57 from Cross. Really good, entertaining night of darts. This is what we've seen. James Wade, 7-4 victory over Barney. 99.26 3-day average. Gerwyn Price, his first ever win in the Premier League, 7-4 over Daryl Gurney. Chris Dobey, story of the night really, 6 apiece with Mensur Suljovic. 6 180s from him. Michael Van Gerwen beating Michael Smith 7-5, and Peter Snakebite Wright 6 apiece with Rob Cross. Table looks like this. The man who'd never won a game in the Premier League before tops the table. Gerwyn Price from James Wade, Michael Van Gerwen and Mensur Suljovic. Wait, Mark, how about that? Really entertaining night of darts.
As nights go, forget an opening night, I thought it was really entertaining, and there was a lot of players that have left here with a lot of credit. Gerwyn Price, I thought the last game was really important for both players, and they both stepped up to the mark and played well. But even though he got a draw, I thought Chris Dobey was the star. Coming in the way he had to, coming in as a contender, coming in where people are giving it, are you good enough? Can you play in front of 8,000 in your hometown and perform? Oh yeah, yes he did. 6 180s on the in the process as well. Magnificent night of darts.
It's fantastic for him. He won't be able to sleep tonight.
He probably couldn't sleep last night, to be fair. But the way he dealt with it, he was 5-1 up, and then it started not all going wrong for him, but the legs started to get away from him. And then he held it together. And you could see Mensur at the end. He was kind of pleased with the draw. And it was a difficult kind of task for Chris Dobey, playing someone like Mensur who just kind of ploughs on, just carries on. But I thought, all in all, it was one of the best opening nights I can remember.
100 averages everywhere you looked.
They just settled, didn't they? I said it in commentary. I just felt that the guys come up here and they know what it's about. There was no debutants this year, apart from Chris Dobey, obviously. But there was no one making their debut. There was no one that didn't know what to expect. And Gerwyn Price put that eloquently in his interview. He said last year was a shock. This year he's not. And you could see that he was more settled. And he got his first win. And after going a whole campaign with no win, to get one in the first week, kudos to him.
Cheers, Wayne. Thanks for your company tonight. Thank you at home as well. Plenty of sport coming your way on Sky. On Saturday, Premier League Live features Fulham against Manchester United from 11:30. There's a Super Sunday double bill, Tottenham versus Leicester from 12:30. Man City, Chelsea, huge game from 3:30. Monday Night Football, Wolves against Newcastle from 7 p.m. On Saturday, the third test, the Windies against England from 1:30. And on Sunday, Women's Six Nations, England versus France from 12:30 p.m. Next week, we're here at Glasgow, second night of the Premier League, 7 p.m. on Sky Sports Action. Thursday night, as always. A draw for Dobey makes him the local hero. Good night.
I would be nothing without you holding me up. Now I'm strong enough for both of us, both of us, both of us, both of us. I am a giant, stand up on my shoulders, tell me what you see. 'Cause I am a giant, we'll be breaking boulders underneath our feet. I am a giant. Oh, I am a giant.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.